Senator Dr. Rasha Kelej, CEO of Merck Foundation and the chairperson of the Merck Foundation Africa Asia Luminary.
Thank you very much for having the time to be here, and allow me, before I start my talking points, to acknowledge and appreciate and welcome my dear sisters, the First Ladies of Africa and Ambassador of Merck Foundation, More Than a Mother. I'm so honored and grateful that you had time of your busy agenda and to be with us today after a long time of travel restriction and movement and COVID-19 pandemic. 3 years since last meeting, we had gathered all together at one of the previous edition of Merck Foundation Africa Asia Luminary, which held in Ghana in 2019. And 3 months after that, Corona happened, and no one been able to move or travel for maybe 2.5 years. And this is the first luminary and gathering all together face-to-face and physically after coronavirus pandemic since 2019, which is almost 3 years. But we gathered online and we continue with our activities and our programs, even stronger than ever. But let me allow me to welcome Her Excellency, alphabetically of course, Her Excellency the First Lady of Botswana, Her Excellency the First Lady of Burundi, Her Excellency the First Lady of Democratic Republic of Congo, Her Excellency the First Lady of Gambia, Her Excellency the First Lady of Ghana, Her Excellency the First Lady of Liberia, Her Excellency the First Lady of Malawi, Her Excellency the First Lady of Mozambique, Her Excellency the First Lady of Namibia, Her Excellency the First Lady of Sierra Leone, Her Excellency the First Lady of Zambia, and thank you very much for having time of your busy agenda to be with us here today. Of course, joining us online and for the first time that we're making this luminary hybrid, and usually for the participation of the First Ladies, we only have the physical attendance, but today is an exception because what I'm going to say later. I would like to welcome Her Excellency the First Lady of Angola with us online, and Her Excellency the First Lady of Central African Republic. Her Excellency the First Lady of Angola, because of the election and the whole engagement of this, she couldn't join us physically, but she wanted to join us in person. And also Central African Republic, Her Excellency First Lady of Central African Republic, due to her health issues, she's getting treatment abroad and she couldn't join with us, although she joined all our luminaries since 2015. And this is the first time she couldn't join us physically, but she was with us online, and we wish her a speedy recovery. Of course, the reason why we had this online participation this year, because we're celebrating together the 5th anniversary of Merck Foundation, which established in 2017. I remember that year. I remember that we had our first luminary during the establishment of 2017 in Egypt, in Cairo. And with us was Her Excellency, the First Lady of Gambia, and also Central African Republic. It was really important milestone, as well as this year. Also, 5 years, it's very important for us, because we achieved a lot of impact. But of course, as you all know, we started our program in 2012, which is 10 years ago. But the establishment of the foundation came just after. 2012, we are all together. We're building capacity, we're raising awareness, we're doing a lot of development programs with a great success and huge improvement year after year after year, until we established the foundation in 2017. So we are also celebrating 10 years together, 5th anniversary, 10 years together. So this is a very important occasion, and for me and for all the Merck Foundation team, and our partners and our ambassadors. So thank you for being here today to celebrate the 5th anniversary of Merck Foundation. Happy anniversary, Merck Foundation. I'm very proud that I'm here today, and we just have to showcase all our achievements and all our impactful programs from each country by Their Excellencies, the First Ladies of Africa. So all of them will report the progress and the impact and how we touch people's lives every year. We had, until now, provided more than 1,470 scholarships to doctors in 50 countries, which is a huge, huge milestone, a huge footprint. These doctors, they will and they are already contributed to transformation of patient care landscape in their countries, because many of them was the first specialist in their countries. First specialist in reproductive and sexual care, first specialist in oncology, first specialist in diabetes, endocrinology, respiratory care, intensive care, pediatric emergency, resuscitation and emergency medicine, internal medicine, and many other specialties. That's really, really important and critical and underserved in our countries. So very proud that Merck Foundation has realized the right strategy to improve access to quality and equitable healthcare solution in each country in Africa. And of course, we also provided to some Southeastern Asian countries and also Latin American, because today we are celebrating or marking yesterday World Diabetes Day, which is very, very, very important. The World Diabetes Day is very important because it's remind us with our journey to fight diabetes every day. We are fighting diabetes every day. You know that out of 1,470 scholarships, there is 700 scholarships provided to diabetes care, to one-year diploma and two-year master degree, diabetes, endocrinology, and cardiovascular preventive. And these doctors will make a contribution because there are different provinces nationwide in each country. This is a huge number that can transform diabetes care and hypertension care in Africa and in their countries and their communities, either by raising awareness to prevent it or manage it. And this is very, very important. Therefore, I have a small gift we made that I wish this song, it's actually a remix between Portuguese, French, and English, to be the national and the formal song of diabetes in each country. I know that there is a lot of media here, and of course we have my dear sisters, excellencies of First Ladies. I would like this song to be in the FMs, in the TVs, so it can actually contribute to changing, making a culture shift to healthy lifestyle, eating healthy, exercise regularly, stop sugar. All these things we need to educate our young and children and youth. This is to mark together the World Diabetes Day, and of course this is the remix, but there is a version in English, full version in French, and full version in Portuguese. I'd like to acknowledge, of course, and thank the singers, Kwesi from Ghana for English version, and Blaise from Mozambique for the Portuguese version, and Laura from Mauritius for the French version. So it's a really pan-African song. I know that this will make a big difference because I can see from our social media, we have 4 million followers on our social media, and most of them shared it and listened to it, and make a big difference for kids, especially kids, because you know that diabetes is really increasing, the incidence is really increasing so fast. Of course, I will not forget the More Than a Mother campaign and the video we have watched for Jacqueline, and this is actually remind us with the purpose of having Merck Foundation and More Than a Mother, the signature movement to break the stigma of infertility, but also you will see after some time, Educating Linda program and how we support girl education, because we believe very much in the importance of girl education. And how to educate a girl, you can educate the whole community and the whole country and the whole economy development and social development. Stronger families, stronger, healthier and happier families. So this is very important also because we provided scholarships to underprivileged and clever and very highly performance girls in many countries to be able to continue their education. This is also a very important program. And each program has its own campaign of songs and media recognition awards and songs and films and fashion awards because we want to integrate every category and sector in Africa to make a difference and to raise awareness and create a culture shift about this topic. Many of the wide range of critical social and health issues like what we mentioned, but also ending child marriage, ending FGM, and stopping gender-based violence, which is very, very important. So thank you very much for being with us here today. It's my great pleasure and honor to have you and have my guest of honor with us today. Thank you very, very much.
The founder of the Merck Foundation and the founder of this conference, the Africa-Asia Luminary. He's also the chairperson of both Merck KG and the Board of Trustees of the Merck Foundation. Professor Dr. Frank Starkenberg-Haverkamp.
Right, Your Excellencies, First Ladies of Africa, distinguished healthcare providers, ambassadors, policymakers, media representatives, Merck Foundation alumni, ladies and gentlemen, and dear colleagues. It's great to be here again after the 2 difficult years we all had to go through. But I think we overcome it now and can go back to our normal routine. I welcome all of you to the 9th edition of the Merck Foundation Asia Africa Luminary. It feels great to meet Your Excellencies, the First Ladies of Africa in person after 2 years of meeting virtually only. And as we all know, a virtual meeting is not the same as a meeting from person to person, because we are all social beings and we need the personal contact. The last time we met face-to-face was at our luminary in Ghana in 2019. Following this, we have been hit by the coronavirus global pandemic that restricted our travels and our movements quite severely around the globe. However, we kept meeting online and we continue to run our programs with great success thanks to technology. I'm very glad that we are all here today to celebrate together a very important occasion, the 5th anniversary of Merck Foundation, and to mark 10 years of our journey of building healthcare capacity and the developing programs since 2012, particularly in Africa. Up to now, it is an amazing journey, a journey full of success stories and significant impact of transforming the everyday lives of many people. Your Excellencies, let me take this opportunity to acknowledge your great efforts to support the healthcare sector in many ways, which in turn boosts the ability of healthcare workers, or everyday heroes, to fulfill their duties, especially during the coronavirus epidemic. Without your support, your help, and your constant, engagement, that would not have happened. I also thank you for dedicating your time to be with us today as guests of honor of this important conference in order to exchange your experience and your success stories of addressing the challenges of healthcare. Furthermore, we want to share with you Merck Foundation's plans and the overall impact of our programs in partnership with your offices and foundations, Ministries of Health, Education, Gender and Communication, and Academia, not to forget. I appreciate your great efforts as ambassadors of Merck Foundation more than a mother in raising awareness and building advocacy to strengthen the education of girls, empower women in general, and to empower childless women in particular, so addressing information and education and to achieve a change in mindset. Well done. That is not an easy task, an ongoing uphill battle. I also acknowledge our Merck Foundation alumni from 50 countries who are with us here today, either physically or virtually. I'm very proud of your success in finishing your scholarships. Congratulations to you who have graduated. You are the future healthcare expert in our countries. In fact, the effects of Corona-19 pandemic have highlighted the importance of focusing on building and advancing healthcare capacity, training medical staff at all levels nationwide to be our first line of defense, especially in times like these. Governments realized more than ever the urgent need to address the gaps in the public health sectors to meet the demands of the COVID-19 pandemic and of the ongoing healthcare needs of their population. Therefore, we appreciate your valuable role, and we are happy that Merck Foundation contributed in a big way since 2012 towards transforming patient landscape in 50 countries across Africa, Asia, and Latin America through providing more than 1,470 scholarships of one-year diploma and two-year master degrees for medical doctors from over 50 countries in 32 critical and underserved medical specialties, such as oncology, diabetes, cardiovascular disease, fertility, embryology, sexual and reproductive care, endocrinology, respiratory care, acute and intensive care, pediatric emergency, internal medicine, advanced surgery, microbiology, and infectious diseases, and more. So in virtually every area of medicine. Ladies and gentlemen, it is very important to mention that many of the Merck Foundation alumni are becoming the first specialists in their countries, such as Liberia, Niger, Chad, the Gambia, Burundi, Malawi, Sierra Leone, Zambia, Zimbabwe, Central African Republic, Botswana, Namibia, Mauritius, Guinea, Ethiopia, Congo, Nepal, Bangladesh, and more countries. So we are really making history together. I personally met many of the doctors who received these scholarships and listened to their experience and heard many success stories. I was truly impressed by their passion and the huge impact they have on their patients and their communities after their graduation. This made us even more confident and committed to continue funding our programs and partnerships to be in a position to touch more people's lives and to become part of Africa's future. We will never be able to achieve this huge milestone without your Excellencies' continued support, efforts and dedication to the well-being of your nations. One can't mention this often enough. So let's join hands and continue working together to realize the vision of Merck Foundation. Everyone in the world should lead a happy and fulfilling life, or at least gets a chance of it. Together, we have achieved so far huge success, and we are going to continue and extend our support to achieve even more. I truly believe in the bright future of Africa. Therefore, we started our programs in 2012 to lead this beautiful continent to a better future. Good healthcare can transform the lives of individuals and families across developing countries. It can significantly contribute to the sustainable economic and social development of any nation, and that is very important, because healthcare is a major driver of economic growth and consequently of social progress. Your Excellency, furthermore, I very much appreciate your great interest and dedicated efforts as Merck Foundation More Than a Mother ambassadors to break the infertility stigma and to build fertility and reproductive care capacity in your countries. This will contribute to empowering women who live with the infertility stigma and suffer its severe psychological and social consequences. I know this campaign is very close to your heart as much as it is close to mine. This campaign has become a strong movement that defines interventions to raise awareness about infertility prevention, infertility management, and male infertility, all in partnership with you. The initiative also provides training for media representatives and fertility specialists and embryologists who became the first in their respective countries to build and advance local fertility and sexual and reproductive care capacity and raise awareness about the infertility stigma in Africa. So let's continue our joint efforts to make a real difference and break this infertility stigma. I also know that all of you are very interested in our Education Linda program to support girls' education in your countries and the rest of Africa. We strongly believe that raising educated girls means stronger women, stronger families, stronger communities, hence stronger and wealthier countries. Therefore, we created this program that fits very much with your own programs to support girls' education and women empowerment. The program provides scholarships, grants for brilliant but underprivileged girls so that they overcome the various challenges to complete their education, to reach their potential and fulfill their dreams. This program is very important as it also aims to build advocacy and sensitizing communities about the importance of girl education and the urgent need to end child marriage. The challenges Africa's nations are facing are huge, we know that. But we are committed to work closely with all of you to overcome them. Let's say together we can make a difference. Thank you, Your Excellencies, First Ladies, for being today with us. Thank you for all your continuous support and happy 5th anniversary to Merck Foundation. Thank you very much.
Her Excellency, Mrs. Neo Jane Masisi, the First Lady of the Republic of Botswana.
My dear sisters, Your Excellencies, African First Ladies, Chairman of the Executive Board of Merck, Professor Frank Stangenberg-Haverkamp, CEO of Merck Foundation, Senator Dr. Rasha Kelej, distinguished healthcare providers, policymakers, and the media, ladies and gentlemen, I wish you all a very, very good morning. It is my utmost honor and privilege as I join my dear sisters, Excellencies of African First Ladies, and all of you as one of the participating guests of honor in celebration of the 9th edition of Merck Foundation Africa-Asia Luminary this morning. This conference comes at a historic moment when the world is going through a recovery phase after experiencing the devastating effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. Therefore, it is of significance that we are able to once more meet in person as long-term partners after a 24 months disruption brought about by the pandemic. A pandemic that was accompanied by many lessons as it revealed just how fragile some of our health systems are. You will all agree that it is thanks to many of you who are here and still remain frontliners in your respective countries that we have made it here today, when combined millions globally could not survive. We thank you, all frontliners. Round of applause, please. As a Merck Foundation, more than a mother ambassador, I'm very excited to be a part of this prestigious conference. Let me appreciate Merck Foundation for organizing this conference, which has brought together participants from over 70 countries. A very significant footprint indeed. I would like to take this opportunity to acknowledge the continued valuable partnership that we have with Merck Foundation, spanning 4 years since our first meeting in Dakar, Senegal, which actually seemed like just yesterday, with so much being done. During this period, together we have achieved some very important milestones as tangible impact has been made in building quality and equitable healthcare capacity, and including efforts to break the stigma of infertility and to stop gender-based violence. All these initiatives building on to the attainment of Sustainable Development Goal 3, which aspires to ensure healthy lives and promote well-being for all at all ages by 2030. SDG 3 can be achieved through access to quality healthcare, which ideally would be provided by qualified medical personnel. Through the Merck Foundation partnership, 31 scholarships have been provided to medical personnel from the public sector in Botswana. These are from different underserved and critical specialties such as diabetes, endocrinology, dermatology, oncology, respiratory medicines, acute medicines, and sexual and reproductive medicines. Similar to many of our countries, ladies and gentlemen, non-communicable diseases remain a threat, as these silent killers contribute to a significant number of deaths in our countries. COVID-19 also confirmed the threat that NCDs pose. Those with underlying conditions were placed as the most vulnerable during the epidemic. For those scholarships covering NCDs, this program contributes in part to Botswana's national strategic framework on NCDs. Let me share some specific numbers of doctors who are beneficiaries of these scholarships. There was a scholarship provided to a doctor for the Oncology Fellowship Program in India, and pleased to say that she has completed the course and back to the country to serve our people who need her services. 16 scholarships have been provided for the postgraduate diploma and MSc in diabetes and postgraduate diploma in endocrinology. 4 scholarships were also provided for the postgraduate diploma and MSc in acute medicine, and 1 scholarship for respiratory medicine. A scholarship was provided for a postgraduate diploma in dermatology, and 1 scholarship for postgraduate diploma in gastroenterology. Additionally, 7 scholarships have been provided for postgraduate diploma and MSc in sexual and reproductive medicine. And for my country, Botswana, this will significantly improve women's health in general and reproductive health, more so that we have a limited number of gynecologists in the country. Naturally, this program is of particular interest to me as a Merck Foundation More Than a Mother ambassador. Excellencies, First Ladies, ladies and gentlemen, I'm very appreciative of the strong commitment that Merck Foundation has in strengthening health systems, which serve to advance healthcare in the public sector, not only in my country, but across Africa, Asia, and underserved communities globally. All these contributions will ensure improved health outcomes, resulting in healthy communities, healthy nations, and a healthy world, which contributes to overall development. During COVID-19, like many other countries, we experienced an accompanying pandemic where we saw an unprecedented increase in gender-based violence and child abuse. As part of our program to stop gender-based violence, I'm very happy to share that Merck Foundation donated 20 industrial sewing machines, which have been distributed to women groups whose mandate includes fighting against gender-based violence and women empowerment. This was an effort to promote income generation and, of course, skills acquisition, which will result in improved livelihoods and those of the family members and community at large. The aim is so victims of domestic violence become independent as productive members in the society, thus reducing dependency on men who are the main perpetrators. To date, we've distributed 14 of those sewing machines, and the remaining will be donated during the first quarter of 2023. During 2019, together with Merck Foundation, we launched a poster contest on Stop GBV as part of the gender-based violence campaign, contributing to our efforts in ending the scourge in Botswana. My office is currently in the process of compiling the winning posters into a publication which will be shared in the very near future. Dear Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, gender-based violence continues to destroy families and has not only taken us back in the achievement of development goals, but promoted disunity within communities, both at national and international levels. I continue to accelerate efforts in the fight against the scourge, and I must say that the government of Botswana also has stepped up efforts in the prevention and response to gender-based violence. Allow me, ladies and gentlemen, to highlight other ongoing initiatives currently supported by Merck Foundation. We are working together to create a children's storybook whose primary aim is to raise awareness on the need for society to listen and also believe that victims of gender-based violence and child abuse are experiencing, and also to encourage these youngsters and young women to speak out, for in speaking out, then only can they get help. Furthermore, the office is in the process of adapting Merck Foundation storybooks across the thematic areas of importance of educating girls, ending child marriages, women empowerment, and of course, eliminating the infertility stigma. The intention is that these books will be distributed across the country in schools where adults and girls and young women continue to face these challenges. Merck Foundation has also provided support to development of a gender-based violence song, which forms a part of my national GBV awareness campaign, with a key message of sensitizing the public on gender-based violence, and as a call for communities to act together against this evil, particularly the men, that you are a major stakeholder and actually you can make the difference. During the early part of 2023, Merck Foundation will provide media training for all media houses and communication specialists, including mass communication students in tertiary schools in our country, providing guidance on the significant influence they have on consumers of news, particularly in creating the perceptions on issues such as infertility, gender-based violence, and women empowerment. Ladies and gentlemen, we have also launched together More Than a Mother Awards for filmmakers, media, those in the media, singers, fashion designers, across a wide range of social issues mentioned earlier. Infertility, ladies and gentlemen, remains traumatic, with scarring effects on women worldwide, as these women's worth is compromised at all levels within our communities, leading to their fragile self-esteem. These women go through violence, divorce, and painful stigma, as the blame lays solely on them for the childless home. Global data, according to the World Health Organization, states that between 48 million couples and 186 million individuals have infertility. Whilst we are not aware of the exact figures on infertility in Botswana, from anecdotal evidence, it is known that polycystic ovary syndrome is the main cause of infertility, followed by endometriosis and other tubal disorders. And this lack of numbers and concrete data points at the fact that there are gaps in research. And those of you who are in academia and research institutions, I urge you to continue collecting this data and may it given the priority that other data is given. Nonetheless, due to delays in seeking medical attention by the majority, women consequently suffer from social stigma, putting them further at risk of abuses by their partner, family members, and community. Similar to most of our countries in Africa, availability, access, affordability, and quality of interventions to address infertility remain a challenge in Botswana. Just to share a few numbers, there are a limited number of gynecologists in the public sector who ordinarily serve the majority of citizens who cannot afford private medical facilities. To illustrate the extent of dire gaps in service provision, there's only one fertility specialist who's in private sector and based in the capital city of Gaborone. We can see that those in the rural areas are automatically disadvantaged. Not only can they not afford use of these services, but also they do not have the economic muscle. The lack of trained personnel and high cost of treatment remain barriers to accessing world-class fertility care. Currently, assisted reproduction interventions such as IVF are only offered by one fertility specialist in the country, as I had said earlier. Moreover, medical insurance schemes do not cover costs for this intervention, making it largely unavailable and unaffordable to the majority. The few who can afford such services seek medical attention in neighboring South Africa, with the exceptional traveling outside the continent. These interventions no doubt place a financial burden to the couples, with the added anxiety burden that success is not even guaranteed after spending so much. In addressing infertility in our country, some gender-related issues could be mitigated, and it requires strengthening health system capacity in fertility care. Once again, I would like to thank Merck Foundation for hosting us and for their valuable programs geared at advancing our healthcare sector and raising awareness about sensitive issues such as infertility stigma, child marriages, and gender-based violence. I appreciate that they have continued to prioritize support despite resource constraints, financial to be specific, that were posed by the COVID-19 pandemic. in addressing these issues. It will improve health outcomes in our respective countries. These initiatives also serve to further empower women and girls and give them self-esteem as they in turn continue to take care of future generations of both girls and boys, because we should never forget those boys out there who will one day become men. And both the two girls and boys will one day become the men and women leading our countries, most importantly, helping us achieve the no one left behind. I continue to pledge my commitment to the Merck Foundation First Ladies Initiative, and I look forward to the years of partnership ahead. Once again, happy anniversary, Merck Foundation, and thank you for caring through all these seasons. I thank you all for your attention.
Her Excellency, Madame Angeline Ndayishimiye, the First Lady of the Republic of Burundi.
Mes chères sœurs, Excellences, Première Dame africaine, Monsieur le Président du Conseil d'administration de la Fondation Merck, Honorable PDG de la Fondation Merck, Dr Rasha, Kelej, distingués invités, Mesdames et Messieurs, tout protocole observé. C'est un honneur pour moi et ma délégation de prendre part à la 9e édition de Merck Foundation Africa Asia Luminary 2022. C'est aussi une joie pour nous tous, je l'espère, de pouvoir nous rencontrer en présentiel après la période d'épreuve que le monde vient de traverser au cours des 2 dernières années. Permettez-moi, Mesdames et Messieurs, de commencer par souhaiter à la Fondation Merck un joyeux anniversaire de 5 ans. Toutes mes félicitations au Dr Rasha Kelej, au professeur Franck et à toute l'équipe de la Fondation Merck pour cette importante étape que la Fondation Merck vient de franchir. À cette occasion, je voudrais remercier la Fondation Merck pour le partenariat à long terme avec mon bureau, principalement avec la Fondation Bonne Action Umugiraneza que je dirige au Burundi. À base de ce partenariat, nous avons pu exécuter ensemble d'importants programmes en rapport avec la santé, l'éducation et l'autonomisation des jeunes. Je citerai ici l'appui à la Fondation plusieurs médecins burundais, des spécialistes créés, une formation dispensée dans le cadre de l'amélioration du secteur de la santé au Burundi. Les premiers bénéficiaires de cette formation sont déjà sur terrain et d'autres sont en cours de formation. De notre côté, que ce soit dans le cadre de l'Office de la Première Dame pour le développement au Burundi, au PDD en sigle, ou la Fondation Bonne Action Umugiraneza, nous avons placé la santé, l'éducation, l'autonomisation des femmes et des jeunes parmi les missions les plus prioritaires. En plus de l'éducation et la santé, je poursuis en tant qu'ambassadrice de la Fondation Merck, plus qu'une mère, la lutte pour l'autonomisation de la femme et de la fille burundaise. C'est dans ce cadre que j'ai animé plusieurs ateliers de sensibilisation des jeunes sur le thème de la sagesse, le leadership et la santé de la reproduction. Cette année, alors que le monde célèbre la Journée internationale de l'hygiène menstruelle le 28 mai de chaque année, j'ai levé la voix pour briser toute forme de stigmatisation envers cet état physiologique naturel de la fille et la femme après avoir compris que la mauvaise gestion de l'hygiène menstruelle peut constituer l'une des causes d'abandon scolaire pour les jeunes scolarisés. Toujours en tant qu'ambassadrice de la Fondation Merck, plus qu'une mère, nous avons initié un projet qui vise l'autonomisation des femmes infertiles. Il s'agit de l'ouverture du centre de fertilité au Mugiraneza, le tout premier centre de fertilité au Burundi. Je remercie la Fondation Merck d'avoir appuyé la fondation de nos spécialistes en fertilité en embryologie. Nous continuons à préparer l'équipe des médecins spécialistes locaux. Selon les données de l'OMS, un couple sur 4 est infertile dans les pays en voie de développement, le Burundi inclus. Cette incidence est relativement élevée par rapport à la place qu'occupe un enfant dans nos communautés africaines. Il est triste de réaliser que dans de nombreuses cultures, y compris la nôtre, les femmes sont constamment victimes de violences et de discrimination à raison de leur incapacité à avoir des enfants, bien que 50% de l'infertilité soit due aux hommes. Par la création de ce centre, nous espérons apporter une grande contribution dans notre société. Excellence, Première Dame, honorable Dr Rasha, tout protocole observé. Le partenariat avec la Fondation Merck nous a aussi permis de mettre en action notre mission d'autonomisation des jeunes via des programmes importants, celui baptisé Éduquer Linda, ainsi que des concours médias. Le prix octroyé dans ce concours vise à encourager les jeunes talents pour être champions de la santé et autres aspects sociaux afin de créer un changement de culture dans nos communautés. Pour terminer, je voudrais saluer de tout cœur le partenariat à long terme avec Merck Foundation, tout en réitérant mon engagement de continuer à appuyer notre gouvernement dans les secteurs les plus sensibles de la vie nationale, comme l'éducation, la santé et l'autonomisation des jeunes et des femmes. Je vous remercie.
Her Excellency, Madame Denise Nyekeru Tshisekedi, the First Lady of the Democratic Republic of Congo.
Excellence, Première Dame, chères sœurs, Professeur Dr Franck, Président du Conseil d'administration de Merck, chers sénateurs et Dr Rasha Kelej, Directrice générale de la Fondation Merck, chers prestataires de soins de santé et représentants des médias, Mesdames et Messieurs, c'est pour moi un honneur de participer à cette 9e édition de Merck Foundation, African Asia Luminary, et de célébrer ensemble avec mes chères sœurs, les Premières Dames d'Afrique, le 5e anniversaire de la Fondation Merck. Je saisis l'occasion pour saluer l'engagement du Président et de la Directrice générale de la Fondation Merck à faire progresser le secteur de la santé publique à travers l'Afrique et à aider à résoudre les problèmes sociaux et sanitaires critiques grâce à des programmes efficaces de sensibilisation communautaire. Pour ce qui concerne mon pays, la République démocratique du Congo, le partenariat avec la Fondation Merck a débuté en 2020, en pleine pandémie de Covid-19. Cette pandémie a fortement bouleversé les équilibres dans nos pays respectifs. Elle a permis de nous rendre compte de l'importance capitale de renforcer les capacités des soins de santé et de former nos médecins locaux. La collaboration avec la Fondation Merck est tombée à point nommé, et a notamment contribué à la lutte contre ce fléau. Elle a conduit à la mise sur pied du programme d'octroi des bourses à nos jeunes médecins et infirmières dans les domaines de l'oncologie, de la fertilité, de l'embryologie et du diabète. Sachant que le diabète a été reconnu comme facteur de risque pour les maladies cardiovasculaires et de comorbidité de la COVID-19. À ce jour, 77 bourses ont été offertes dans le cadre de ce programme de formation. Ces bourses sont réparties de la manière suivante. 9 bourses ont été accordées à nos premiers spécialistes de la fertilité et embryologie. 67 bourses sont accordées à nos jeunes médecins de différentes provinces pour un cours de master sur le diabète en langue française, dans le cadre du programme national de points bleus du diabète de la Fondation Merck. Enfin, une bourse a également été accordée pour le programme de bourse en oncologie et le médecin a terminé avec succès le programme. L'excellente nouvelle est que 4 autres bourses seront accordées dans les prochains jours. Ces programmes de formation offrent la possibilité de créer, par exemple, une clinique du diabète dans nos formations sanitaires dans le but d'aider à prévenir et à prendre en charge la maladie dans leur propre communauté, ou encore soutenir les couples infertiles et d'autonomiser les femmes infertiles grâce à un accès adéquat à l'information et aux initiatives de changement de mentalité. Mesdames et messieurs, le partenariat à long terme avec la Fondation Merck nous offre à présent la possibilité d'inclure dans les divers programmes de formation les infirmières et les techniciens dans le but de renforcer notre système de santé et de transformer à tous les niveaux le paysage des soins contre le cancer ou encore l'infertilité. De plus, avec la Fondation Merck, nous travaillons constamment pour introduire des idées innovantes dans différents secteurs. Ensemble, nous avons organisé au mois de juillet dernier la formation en ligne des professionnels des médias sur les questions de santé. Cette importante formation a été suivie par plusieurs de nos journalistes qui ont beaucoup apprécié cette initiative. Le but poursuivi était de mettre l'accent sur le rôle essentiel des médias pour créer un changement de culture, briser le silence et être la voix des sans-voix, sensibiliser aux problèmes sociaux et sanitaires sensibles tels que la stigmatisation liée à l'infertilité, l'éducation des jeunes filles, l'autonomisation des femmes, les mariages des enfants et les mutilations génitales féminines, les violences basées sur le genre, le dépistage précoce et la prévention du diabète. Ensemble, nous avons également lancé l'appel à candidature pour 8 prix importants pour les médias. Les cinéastes, les créateurs de mode, les chanteurs et les jeunes talents potentiels dans ces domaines. Nous avons eu de nombreux gagnants au cours de ces dernières années et je suis certaine qu'il y en aura beaucoup plus cette année. Mesdames et messieurs, comme vous le savez, nous avons publié 3 livres de contes pour enfants afin de lutter contre la stigmatisation de l'infertilité et de la violence domestique qui en résulte, de promouvoir l'autonomisation de la femme et de la jeune fille, ou encore d'adopter les bons gestes pour lutter contre la COVID-19. Le premier livre, L'histoire de David, met l'accent sur les fortes valeurs familiales d'amour et de respect dès le plus jeune âge. Le deuxième livre, Éduquer Cathy, souligne l'importance de l'autonomisation des filles par l'éducation. Et le dernier livre, intitulé Faites le bon choix, sensibilise les enfants et les jeunes sur la prévention de la COVID-19. Un total de 30 000 exemplaires de ces 3 livres de comptes ont été distribués aux jeunes lecteurs, élèves des écoles et autres partenaires. Nous travaillons sur 5 nouveaux livres d'histoire qui visent à promouvoir l'éducation des filles, à mettre fin au mariage des enfants et autres types de violences basées sur le genre et à sensibiliser en dernier lieu sur le diabète. Pour clore ce registre, je mentionnerai que nous avons fourni, dans le cadre du programme Éduquer Linda, 3000 exemplaires d'articles scolaires essentiels pour les écoles des filles dans mon pays. Bientôt, 20 écolières, très performantes mais défavorisées, recevront une bourse de la Fondation Merck pour couvrir leurs frais de scolarité, leurs uniformes et leurs articles, afin qu'elles puissent poursuivre leurs études et réaliser leurs rêves. Je suis très enthousiaste à l'idée de ce programme car il s'inscrit dans notre stratégie de soutien à l'éducation des filles qui me tient particulièrement à cœur. Mesdames et messieurs, je terminerai mon allocution de ce jour en saluant encore une fois l'engagement de la Fondation Merck d'accompagner l'Afrique en général et la République démocratique du Congo en particulier, dans sa marche irréversible vers le développement. Pour ma part, dans mon rôle d'ambassadrice de Plus qu'une mère, je continuerai à développer et promouvoir les différents programmes offerts par la Fondation Merck dans mon pays. Même si je reste convaincue que nous pouvons encore faire beaucoup plus, je tiens à remercier la Fondation Merck pour tout le travail formidable qu'elle accomplit et aussi pour nous avoir accueillis aujourd'hui. Encore une fois de plus, joyeux 5e anniversaire à la Fondation Merck. N'oublions pas qu'ensemble, nous sommes une communauté plus forte. Je vous remercie.
Her Excellency, Mrs. Fatimatu Babaro, the First Lady of the Republic of Gambia.
My dear sisters, Excellencies, African First Ladies, the Chairman of Executive Board of Merck, Professor Dr. Frank, the CEO of Merck Foundation, Senator Dr. Rasha Kelej, distinguished health professionals here present, media, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It gives me immense pleasure to join you all today for the 9th edition of Merck African Asian Luminary. Together, my sister First Ladies, we celebrate the 5th anniversary of Merck Foundation. And I wish to begin by congratulating the chairman of the executive board and the CEO of the entire Merck Foundation and team on this occasion. I also wish to seize this opportunity to also acknowledge this important platform and valuable partnership that we had established with Merck Foundation as African First Ladies. It is important to mention that I was part of the launch of the Merck Foundation along with my delegation in Egypt in 2017. And in February the same year, I had also hosted Merck Foundation CEO in the Gambia. We highly welcome the collaboration with Merck to help address some of the health and social challenges in my country. And together, we launched our long-term partnership to build healthcare capacity for the next 10 years. And 5 years later, here we are. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, over the years, as a more than a mother ambassador campaign, I worked with Dr. Rasha Kelej to ensure that capacities are built to obtain significant impact on our future health experts as able to be transformed the landscape of the healthcare sector in the Gambia by providing specialty training for local doctors and other health professionals. Since the start of the partnership in 2017, through my office and my foundation, in partnership with the Ministry of Health, we had provided more than 60 scholarships to young Gambian doctors in many critical and underserved medical specialties. Specialist training is also provided for the first time in some areas so as to ensure that all the healthcare needs of Gambians are met by qualified experts. Where women are concerned, training is provided on fertility as well as sexual reproductive healthcare to change women's health for the better. I am especially proud of this achievement as a First Lady, an African woman, and equally as Ambassador of More Than a Mother. In an effort to monitor the evaluate the progress made, we conducted our first annual summit with Merck and health experts from the Gambia virtually to follow up the discussions, our joint capacity building and development programs with a focus on patient care as a priority. It was also a pleasure meeting Dr. Rasha Kelej at the Foundation headquarters earlier this year to discuss our ongoing programs, review its amazing impacts, and explore the possibility of expansion in existing and new areas of benefit for all Gambians. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, our partnership journey is growing stronger each year, and I am happy to state that we have achieved milestones together indeed. We had a significant impact in a very short period, building healthcare capacity in various fields and raising awareness on paternal issues, including infertility, prevention, management, male infertility, COVID-19, just to name a few. We constantly work with different ministries, such as those of health, gender, education, and communication to sensitize the communities on these issues. We also encourage other segments of society by providing mentorship programs for partners within the media, entertainment, and fashion industries to provide their critical roles in effective community awareness on health-related matters and others. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, raising awareness at the grassroots level of communities is important, but another effective communication tool that we had adopted is the distribution of children's storybooks. Such stories have underlying messages to address different forms of discrimination, gender-based violence, cultural-related barriers, the global COVID-19 pandemic, and others. Such harmful practices can be reduced through advocacy and access to information. We therefore confident that it will make a huge difference in creating a cultural shift, and I am sure, like the rest of you, we will soon be launching 5 more children's storybooks on important topics, including ending child marriage, promotion of girls' education, putting an end to GBV, as well as raising awareness on diabetes and hypertension, which are common in the Gambia as well. In this juncture, I would also like to propose to our partners and to you all to consider issues like cancer, obstetric fistula as part of our sensitization campaign, healthcare training package, and other future programs. Like the issue of infertility, obstetric fistula is a dehumanizing condition that affects the human dignity of many women simply due to their lack of knowledge to seek help and get the required care and treatment. Cancer is also causing millions of deaths each year among African women, and more effort needs to be done in terms of awareness creation to get women screened for breast and cervical cancers as a preventive measure. Remember, cancer-related deaths are preventable if only diagnosed early and treated on time. Future initiatives can therefore include key messages of breast self-examination for breast cancer prevention, for example, and encourage the needs for regular cervical cancer screening amongst women, or rather mothers. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, Each year, many African women and girls suffer from various health conditions due to the lack of information and knowledge thereof. Education is therefore key in ensuring an empowered and healthy women populace. For this reason, we continue to empower girls through education under the Educating Linda program. In collaboration with Merck, we had rendered support to 20 unprivileged but brilliant schoolgirls, giving them the opportunity to complete their education and realize their full potential. This initiative will be undertaken on a yearly basis, and I am pleased to inform that another group of girls have already been identified for the local scholarship package. Additionally, 3,000 sets of essential school items were given to female students as a means of support and encouragement under this valuable initiative. We may also want to consider taking up the agenda of girls in areas of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics STEM, which is essential in the digitalized world and economic that we live in today. Access and knowledge of IT is necessary, and we must push further such an agenda to ensure that the existing digital gender gap is addressed. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I am proud of Merck Foundation's continuous commitment to advance the healthcare capacity and reshape the public healthcare sector in my country. I am equally proud of their efforts to sensitize other communities on both urban and rural areas to support girls' education, break the stigma around infertile women, and to empower women all over through access to information, education, and health. I therefore celebrate Merck for the valuable support that they had rendered, which had led to a significant social and health impacts on our countries, and would like to assure you of all my continuous commitment to our joint programs. On behalf of the people of the Gambia, and indeed on my own behalf, I wish Merck Foundation a happy anniversary. Thank you all for your invaluable partnership with us all as African First Ladies in service to our people and the continent. We all work together towards the Africa that we all want. Thank you.
Her Excellency, Mrs. Rebecca Ekufuado, the First Lady of the Republic of Ghana.
Thank you, and good day to everyone. I bring you greetings from Ghana. My dear sisters, Your Excellencies, Sister First Ladies, Chairman of Executive Board of Merck, Professor Dr. Frank Stangenberg Haverkamp, CEO of Merck Foundation Senator Dr. Rasha Kelej, distinguished healthcare providers, policymakers and media, ladies and gentlemen. It is indeed heartwarming to see you all in person. The last time we met in person was when I had the pleasure of hosting the Merck Foundation Luminary in Accra in 2019. I vividly recall the solidarity, the illuminating discussions, and the very fruitful outcome of that conference. I thank you all for making the Accra conference a success. Ghana's partnership with Merck Foundation was launched in January 2019. This partnership has been one of the most productive partnerships, not only for my office, but also for my foundation, the Rebecca Foundation. The Merck Foundation More Than a Mother Ambassador is an initiative that tugs at my heartstrings. Infertility, especially for African women, is a huge challenge. Growing up, I saw how stigma and lack of support traumatized women labeled as infertile. To me, this was gross injustice. So for me, this program was timely and essential. I fully believe in empowering women in general, but I also firmly believe in creating the kind of cultural shift that supports women, their partners, and society with the necessary resources to fight infertility stigma and provide treatment or coping options for couples. The support provided by the Merck Foundation to fight infertility and other medical conditions in Ghana has been immense. In all, Ghana has been fortunate to receive specialist training for more than 110 public sector healthcare providers. This valuable program has contributed greatly to improving access to equitable and quality healthcare solutions. Education, especially girl education, is one of the most important pillars for development. I am therefore pleased that Merck Foundation and my office are working to inspire and encourage girl education under the Educating Linda program. 20 highly performing but underprivileged girls have received scholarships, while 3,000 sets of school supplies have been distributed. Merck Foundation is also providing support for the Rebecca Foundation's Because I Want to Be TV mentorship program, with the aim to reduce school dropout rate for adolescent girls. It has been amazing to see these young girls grow in confidence and self-esteem right before one's eyes. Building strong strategic partnerships is what Merck Foundation does best. Collaborations with the media, musicians, fashion designers, filmmakers, and students has ensured that they use their voices, platforms, talents, and craft to create awareness about social and health issues. A highlight of these partnerships is the awards events. So far, 100 Ghanaian journalists have received awards. Various artists have also received awards. This has in no doubt contributed to the vibrancy of arts and culture in Ghana. Additionally, we have launched 3 inspiring children's books in Ghana. We are working on 5 new storybooks to be launched later this year to end child marriage, support girls' education, stop gender-based violence, and raise awareness about diabetes. Thank you, Merck Foundation, for your tremendous support to Ghana, and be assured that we are fully committed to working with you to make a difference in Ghana. I thank you.
Her Excellency, Mrs. Claire Marie Weir, the First Lady of the Republic of Liberia.
Good morning. So, my dear sisters, Your Excellencies, African First Ladies, Chairman of Merck Foundation, Professor Dr. Frank Stangenberg Haverkamp, CEO of Merck Foundation, Senator Dr. Rashid Kelej, distinguished healthcare providers, policymakers, and media, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. This is indeed a joyous, momentous moment for me, and I dare to say all of us here gathered at this 9th edition of Merck Foundation Africa-Asia Luminary, and as well to celebrate together the 5th anniversary of Merck Foundation. Let me start by renewing the consciousness of all of us that though we can speak of many nations where excellent work continues to be done in the fight of COVID-19, let me urge that we continue to be ever careful and follow all health protocols. As I did the last time we gathered, let me send a message of love and respect to all healthcare workers who are at the forefront of COVID-19 response, providing high quality, respectful treatment and care for all of us. Their sacrifices and sincere commitment are worth applauding as we thank God for all that they do to save lives and make our continent and the world a better place. So today, as we gather physically and not via Zoom, we celebrate while being ever mindful of the importance of our healthcare system and must double our efforts to advance and build its capacity to ensure that all our people have unfettered access to equitable and quality care when needed. I am quite pleased to hear from my fellow sisters about their programmatic journeys and the progress being made in their respective countries. Such provide us with the understanding of what is working and how collectively, through the Merck Foundation, our continent and the world is changing for the better. In Liberia, we continue to overwhelmingly embrace Merck Foundation programs in a more contextualized way which has yielded great results in building the capacity, providing relevant training to her healthcare providers at all levels. If I may take you down memory lane, the last time we convened, I reported to you that over 35 Liberian doctors were undergoing specialty training, which would result in acquisition of diplomas and master degrees in many critical areas such as diabetes, cardiovascular, sexual and reproductive medicine, endocrinology, respiratory and acute medicine, oncology, and fertility specialists and embryologist training. Liberia, again, is making history, and I'm proud to be that conduit to make this happen through Merck Foundation. Dr. Rasha Kelej, Liberia owes you and the Merck Foundation a debt of gratitude as we appreciate our partnership with Merck Foundation and acknowledge their smart and serious strategies to provide specialty training for our local doctors even before this global crisis, so that they can provide the quality healthcare required by our people in the near future as Liberia continues to make great strides in building a robust healthcare system. In fact, my dear Dr. Kelej, your love and commitment, coupled with the outstanding intervention being made through Merck Foundation, continue to echo throughout Liberia, and I'm glad to serve as a conduit to make such achievable. Hence, on behalf of the good people of Liberia, we most respectfully invite you and Merck Foundation to visit Liberia, where you will be able to get a bird's eye view of all that is transpiring as we seek your prayers and support for constructing of a state-of-the-art health facility that would provide maternal and infant care to a nation whose healthcare system was literally destroyed during the years of the Civil War. Such a facility is urgently needed, and we desire your response in the affirmative. As the ambassador of Merck, More Than a Mother in Liberia, we are a torchbearer of the programs of the Merck Foundation, which seek to empower infertile women through access to information, education, health, and the imminent change of mindset. Moreover, to empower our girls in education through Merck Foundation program, Educating Linda, we embrace same wholeheartedly. We continue to educate girls about their personal sanitation, and I'm particularly thankful to Merck Foundation and my dear sister, Dr. Rasha Kelej, for providing sanitary napkin production machine and raw material under my office She's You Menstrual and Personal Hygiene Initiative, and Educating Linda program that I've launched in Liberia last year. Through this, we will be able to provide thousands of good quality sanitary pads to our schoolgirls, ensuring good menstrual hygiene for them so they can continue their education. This program will provide very beneficial for our girls. This program will prove very beneficial for our girls and their empowerment through education, and I'm very passionate about this initiative. Also, as a part of Educating Linda program and my office Back to School program, we recently distributed 3,000 essential school items to schoolgirls. This, I must tell you, brought sustained smiles to faces of not only the students, but an outburst of unseasoned jubilation to parents, school administrators, and teachers. This will be followed by awarding of scholarship of 20 underprivileged but brilliant girls to continue their education. I am convinced that if we educate a girl, she will indeed change the world. Liberia and Liberians suffered a prolonged brutal civil war that spanned a decade and a half. It divided the country terribly and saw over 250 lives senselessly lost. Today, Liberia and Liberians can boast of a peaceful nation now for more than a decade. However, in finding moments of reconciliation amongst a people bitterly divided, Liberians have held on to a part of the lyrics, our national anthem that says, "In union strong, success is sure, we cannot fail." Dear esteemed sisters, I'm proud to underscore my partnership with Your Excellencies First Ladies to work together, a spirit of collectivism, a united front to make a significant impact in our countries and the whole world through our strong platform, Merck Foundation First Ladies Initiative, an initiative I now refer to as Union Strong Initiative. It is our role as First Ladies to establish a strong and long-term partnership with thoughtful organizations such as Merck Foundation and to capitalize on this opportunity to improve access to quality and equitable healthcare solutions for our community. In Liberia, the Clar Hope Foundation worked in tandem with the Merck Foundation, and together we continue to seek wholesome approaches in reaching out to all without discrimination. Our efforts continue to embrace all, including those who are physically challenged and visually impaired. We continue to provide donations to support the livelihood of our physically challenged. Salome, a Ugandan feminist and activist, put it this way: "It is the little things citizens do. That's what makes the difference." What we as First Ladies through the Merck Foundation do in our respective countries for our people are the things that continue to make the difference, and I'm proud to be an active part of this great movement. As I offer sincere thanks and appreciation to the Merck Foundation on behalf of the government and people of Liberia, led by His Excellency George Manneh Ware, I want to just add that Liberia is a wonderful nation that has brilliant, shining examples, and that has indeed risen from the valley of despair and now stands buoyantly, welcoming all to invest in a nation so richly endowed. I am very happy to be a part of this unique gathering. God bless us all. Thank you so much.
Her Excellency, Mrs. Monica Chakwera, the First Lady of the Republic of Malawi.
Good afternoon, everyone. I would like to recognize my dear sisters, Your Excellency, the African First Ladies, Chairman of the Executive Board of Merck, Professor Dr. Frank Steinberg, CEO of Merck Foundation, Senator Dr. Rasha, Kelej, distinguished healthcare providers and policymakers, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you are all doing well. I can see some smiles. It's a good day that the Lord has given us. It is a great honor for me to be here in person today, and it is my first time, so I am sort of overwhelmed with so many first ladies, but I'm so happy to meet each one of you. Thanks to Merck Foundation, and this is, I understand this is our 9th session, physical session? Yeah, okay. So I'm glad to join the First Ladies. Some of you have been coming before maybe, but I'm happy to be here today. And congratulations on your 5th anniversary. Dr. Rasha, Kelej, and Professor Frank Steinberg have a camp. I hope I'm not murdering your names. You have done an amazing job in these past 5 years or 9 years, both, because I've heard sort of testimonies from my friends that have been working with the organization before, and I've seen that so much has already been accomplished. In true sense, we are celebrating 10 years, like we said. It's significant impact and transformation since these programs started in 2012 before the establishment of Merck Foundation, but the work was already going on, and the Merck Foundation was started in 2017, like we have already said. Just to continue from where you left, my appreciation goes to Dr. Rasha Kelej for bringing us all together to discuss the impact of our ongoing programs in partnership with Merck Foundation. I have worked closely with Merck Foundation since 2020. Like I said, I'm like new kid on the block. But I have seen that there is great impact from Merck Foundation help to our country. We are building healthcare capacity in the country. We are empowering infertile women and support girls' education. In Malawi, like the ladies have already talked about, we have those 3 programs. And on More Than a Mother campaign, before I came into this position, I didn't know we had that problem in Malawi. I mean, I didn't know it was that huge. Because in our culture, we usually don't talk about those issues. They're usually hidden. But when we came, and then I was trying to find out, do we have that problem here in the country? And when we thank God with the social media, when we opened up a forum on social media, we were overwhelmed. So I'm very, very thankful, because me personally, maybe I wouldn't have thought about it, but with this program, we are working on it, and I am already seeing that there is great impact on breaking the stigma of infertile women and empowering them to to do some, we are empowering them through access to information, education, health, and change of mindset, like it's already been talked about. So far, since we started, we have 13 infertile women that have already been supported under the Empowering Banner initiative. These women have been assisted to establish their own small businesses so that they can be financially independent. But we have many more coming to join us, and we thank Merck Foundation for helping out on that. And we have seen that there's good impact for the women that you can help to be independent financially, to be economically empowered financially. It gives them hope to be looked at as normal, because sometimes they look down upon themselves because they don't have a child of their own, as if they are not normal. So we are encouraging them to look at themselves, be independent. So my foundation has also recently signed a memorandum of understanding with UNFPA, specifically to initiate sexual reproductive health education. We are doing campaigns, especially in the village. I come from Malawi, which 80% of the people are in the village. And you know, some of you know village life, how it is. So we are going to do some campaigns even in the village in collaboration with Ministry of Education and Ministry of Health, so that we can reach out to people, because they will suffer in silence. We want to form support groups so that people can encourage each other. So we are also, like it has already been described, providing financial support to women that are infertile to come up with economic empowerment projects, so we can help them, at least to give them something to do economically so they can be independent. So we are planning advocacy. We have started a little bit because Merck Foundation has been training some doctors in our country. So we are all working together, the doctors and some people that can help us to campaign. We are all working together to go out in the village and talk about these issues. Some will say when you talk about problems like that, they are half solved. They usually half solved. That's what we are working on doing. I strongly believe that until African women take their rightful place and plays her rightful role in society, Africa shall always struggle to rise to her rightful place. For me, I believe women are the key. Together with Merck Foundation, my foundation is also implementing educating Linda program, which aims at supporting girls' education. My foundation is mainly supporting girls' education. In my mind, I'm saying, if all girls are educated, education is difficult in the village. I don't know about in your countries, but in my country, it's very difficult in the village because it's expensive, people can't afford. That's why for me, I'm passionate about educating girls, because in my country, there's high dropout of girls in primary school. So about 15% of girls reach year 8, which is end of primary school. Only 15% of those girls that are in year 8 go to secondary school. So I thought I can't afford to lose even one not doing secondary school, because then as a country we will not be progressing. So we are doing campaigns for girls to go to school, and then we don't want anyone selected to secondary school not doing school. So we are working together with other NGOs, and I discovered that in my country there was no NGO that was working on infertile women. So it was like untouched subject. But now I think we are sort of bringing awareness to all organizations to help out in that area as well. So educating Linda, empowering Bena, there are big programs that we are starting out now. So in educating Linda, we have so far sponsored 60 best performing girls in secondary school. And that is helping a lot. But of course, we would want more help. When women are empowered with the right education, skills, and opportunities, they can greatly contribute to the growth of Africa's economy. Economically empowered mothers will in turn empower their children, help their children to achieve their full potential, ably support their girls to stay in school and raise children. I think this has already been talked about so much, but I want to stress, because I don't think an educated woman can leave their children. And a person who is educated, I don't think they can leave their children uneducated. That's why, for me, I talk more about women than men. But of course, we support boys as well, but mainly it's girls. Because for me, I'm thinking, if every girl is educated, then the country will be unstoppable in development. Women that are economically empowered are a weapon we need in order to break the cycle of poverty as a continent. An African woman is the epitome of strength. Africa's development challenges will be fully addressed the day the African woman will be fully involved. She is the greatest asset in the economic development of the continent. For Africa to reach the Sustainable Development Goals, women and girls must be protected, educated, empowered, and in good health. Together with the Merck Foundation, we have provided also 3,000 sets of essential school items to school-going girls in Malawi. We have also launched and distributed 30,000 copies of 3 children's storybooks in line with the programs being implemented in Malawi. In addition, 4 new children's storybooks have just been completed with specific focus on gender-based violence and ending child marriages and supporting girls' education. Ending child marriages is a big problem in our country, and we are going out sensitizing people that they should leave girls in school until after 18 years. And I believe that by 18 years, a girl can make up her mind what she wants to do. I am also very happy to launch More Than a Mother and promoting healthy lifestyles awards for media, filmmakers, singers, and musicians, and fashion designers of Malawi. Through these awards, we hope to encourage our young talents and youth to create and innovate messages in their art and daily work to create awareness about a wide range of social and health issues. My country's partnership with Merck Foundation has also benefited us to build our health care capacity. 33 scholarships have been awarded to young Malawian doctors and nurses in medical specialties such as fertility and embryology, diabetes, endocrinology, oncology, internal medicine, sexual and reproductive medicines, respiratory care and acute care, and more. These scholarships are valuable to us as they are contributing towards advancing women's health and reproductive care in Malawi. It is my hope and prayer that more doctors and nurses will benefit from this program to help reshape and transform the landscape of the public health care sector in Malawi and improve access to quality and equity health care solutions. Like I said, some of these issues we were not aware, but now many people are becoming aware and they know there is help, they can be helped, and we are organizing ourselves. Like I said, 80% live in the village. We have to find ways of how we can help village people. Because in the city, you can go on social media, you can check what, in the village, those things are not available. So we have to go out and tell them that there is help. They shouldn't suffer in silence. We are there to help them. I think the message is going across the country that there is help. So on behalf of the Malawi people, we welcome the long-term partnership with Merck Foundation and with all of you, Excellencies, First Ladies of Africa, to establish a strong platform of specialized and well-trained health experts to transform healthcare sector in Malawi and the rest of Africa. I thank you all for your attention, and once again, happy 5th anniversary to Merck Foundation. Thank you.
Her Excellency, Mrs. Isora Farao Nyusi, the First Lady of the Republic of Mozambique.
Bom dia a todos. Minhas queridas irmãs, Suas Excelências, Primeiras Damas de África, excelentíssimos senhores embaixadores aqui presentes, excelentíssimo senhor Presidente do Conselho Executivo da Merck, professor Frank, excelentíssima senhora Diretora Executiva da Merck Foundation, senadora doutora Rasha, Kelej, distintos decisores políticos, profissionais de saúde e da comunicação social, minhas senhoras, meus senhores. Depois de um longo período de interregno ocasionado pela Covid-19, é um prazer retomarmos hoje este encontro presencial que nos permitirá fazer uma retrospectiva das atividades e perspectivar um alinhamento após a pandemia, um momento tão difícil para todos nós, mas, contudo, conseguimos superar com força e coragem todas as adversidades. Com muita satisfação, junto-me às minhas irmãs primeiras damas africanas, nesta 9ª edição da Merck Foundation, Ásia Luminary, como convidada, e auguro que neste tão importante e respeitado fórum possamos partilhar, construir, aprimorar com novas ideias e práticas as nossas estratégias de intervenção para melhor exercício das nossas atividades sociais em prol das camadas desfavorecidas, vivendo em situação de vulnerabilidade, tendo como um dos autores da parceria à Fundação Merck Foundation. A Merck Foundation comemora hoje o seu 5º aniversário e este momento constitui uma grande oportunidade de análise e avaliação do impacto dos nossos valiosos programas que a organização vem desenvolvendo em conjunto com os parceiros durante este quinquênio. Olhando para Moçambique, meu país, tenho muito orgulho em ser embaixadora da campanha Merck Foundation, mais do que uma mãe, pois esta causa tem impacto significativo no empoderamento das mulheres que sofrem de estigma e discriminação social devido à infertilidade, objetivo fundamental da criação desta fundação. Com a provisão dos serviços de saúde, com a conscientização das comunidades para uma mudança de mentalidade e garantia de acesso à informação a estas mulheres, conseguimos registrar avanços nos programas que desenvolvemos em parceria com a Merck Foundation. Recentemente, nós realizamos o nosso primeiro treinamento virtual de mídia de saúde, que teve em foco nos jornalistas, enfatizando o importante papel de influência que a mídia desempenha na mudança da mentalidade da nossa sociedade. Este treinamento foi fundamentalmente para criar bases para uma mudança cultural focada no combate ao estigma de infertilidade, apoio à educação das meninas, empoderamento das mulheres, combate das uniões prematuras, mutilação genital feminina, bem como a violência baseada no género em todos os níveis. Nós abordamos ainda a importância de levar a conscientização sobre a detecção precoce, a prevenção de diabetes e hipertensão. A sessão do treinamento beneficiou muitos dos nossos jornalistas. Excelências, julgo ser oportuno realçar neste momento o meu comprometimento de continuar a trabalhar com a Merck Foundation para quebrar o estigma de infertilidade feminina, envolvendo diferentes áreas de conhecimento, de modo a causar maior impacto nas comunidades do meu país, dentro do mais curto espaço de tempo possível. Pois é evidente que a união de esforços de diferentes setores de intervenção social, a nossa luta pelo empoderamento das mulheres ganha espaço e torna-se mais forte e coesa no combate de quaisquer estereotipos de género, bem assim no empoderamento das nossas meninas, mulheres na educação, abordando questões sociais críticas, como a prevenção do combate às uniões prematuras, mutilação genital, violência baseada no género, entre outros males que apoquentam as mulheres. Minhas senhoras, meus senhores, no âmbito da nossa parceria com a Merck Foundation, lançamos competições diferentes para as nossas comunidades, a saber, prémios da melhor mídia, música, filme e moda para os mais do que uma mãe e promover um estilo de vida saudável. Estes prémios visam incentivar a mídia, músicos, estilistas de moda, cineastas, estudantes e novos talentos com potencial nestas áreas para desempenhar o seu importante papel de sensibilização nas comunidades sobre questões sociais sensíveis e de saúde. Nesta perspectiva, distinguimos muitos vencedores no ano passado e tenho certeza de que teremos um bom número de vencedores para as nossas categorias de prémio. Juntos nós lançamos 3 livros de história: Faça a Escolha Certa, Educar Serafina e História de José. Estes livros ajudaram a elevar a conscientização sobre a Covid-19, apoiar a educação das meninas, a quebrar o estigma da infertilidade, a enfatizar os valores familiares de amor e respeito. Na mesma linhagem, perspectivamos lançar mais 5 livros novos de histórias. Para dar o início ao programa Educar Linda, neste momento, o meu gabinete está a levar a cabo um trabalho de identificação de 20 meninas em idade escolar desprivilegiadas e com alto desempenho acadêmico para beneficiarem de bolsa de estudo em mensalidades, materiais escolares, garantindo assim a conclusão da sua formação, o alcance do seu potencial e a realização dos seus sonhos. Estimados participantes, durante a pandemia do coronavírus, todos percebemos a importância da existência de um sistema de saúde público forte e a necessidade de conscientização da comunidade. Neste sentido, gostaria de agradecer à Merck Foundation pelo seu apoio contínuo e partilhar o resultado da nossa parceria no Programa Nacional dos Pontos Azuis para Diabetes da Merck Foundation. No âmbito deste programa, fornecemos 14 bolsas de estudo aos nossos médicos locais para o curso de mestrado online em diabetes, endossando pela diabetes 19. Estou muito feliz que 5 dos doutores tenham concluído o curso com sucesso e que os outros estejam a frequentar o programa. É nosso desejo que, terminado o curso, estes médicos estejam aptos para estabelecer uma clínica de diabetes nos centros de saúde, hospitais de afetação, capacitada para a prevenção e gestão da doença nas suas respectivas comunidades. Estamos ansiosos em matricular mais médicos para o curso de mestrado em diabetes. Em breve, inscrever novos médicos em muitas outras especialidades, em parceria com o Ministério da Saúde de Moçambique. Deste modo, pretendemos melhorar o acesso dos nossos pacientes. Em cuidados de saúde equitativos e de qualidade no país. Partilharei convosco o resultado na nossa próxima reunião. A terminar, gostaria de felicitar a Merck Foundation pela celebração do seu 5º aniversário e manifestar a minha satisfação pela parceria que estabelecemos juntos no desenvolvimento de programas de capital importância social para o meu país, na expectativa de continuarmos a registrar grandes resultados e progressos. Pela atenção dispensada, meu muito obrigada. Obrigada a todos.
Her Excellency, Mrs. Monica Gengos, the First Lady of the Republic of Namibia.
My sisters, Your Excellencies, the African First Ladies who are present, the Chairman of the Executive Board of Merck, Professor Frank Stangenberg-Haverkamp, the CEO of Merck Foundation, the ever-energetic Dr. Rasha Kelej, and the distinguished healthcare providers, policymakers, members of the media, and of course, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, particularly the technical advisors and the teams of the First Ladies. I've listened carefully, and I don't want to repeat what has already been said, so I think it's really a summary. My sister from Botswana spoke very clearly about the importance of data and how a lot of the data is in the private sector and not in the public health systems. My sister from Burundi spoke about stigma and how women are blamed even for infertility. And as First Ladies, I'm sure many of you will agree, we also experience this. The president makes a mistake, it's the First Lady. Then sometimes the president is a good man, but the wife is a problem. We do this at community level, we do it at political level, and we do it at the level of infertility, where often infertility is made as if it's a woman's issue. And a man who has not been tested to see if the infertility comes from his side will blame the wife, his family will blame the wife. So we must resolve this issue. So that was a very important point raised by my sister from Burundi. My sister from DRC talked about the fragility of healthcare systems, not only during COVID, but historically and present. My sister from Gambia made a very important point about why we need to integrate services and add issues, add NCDs, add healthcare issues like obstetrics fistula, which also suffers a lot from lack of access to information, also suffers a lot from stigma. My sister from Ghana spoke about the importance of strong partnerships and really highlighted the strength of this partnership with Merck Foundation that all of us share. And I would like to really agree with you on that. Liberia talked about the impact of conflict on healthcare systems and the urgent need to rebuild healthcare infrastructure, as well as ensure access to quality and equitable healthcare. Malawi made an important point, which to an extent we also saw, is how secret infertility is kept. Often you don't know a couple is struggling with this, but the first thing all of us do at weddings is say to the new couple, when are the babies coming? I've stopped asking people. I've stopped talking about my children in front of people because I've realized when there's a silence, it means this person doesn't have children and we don't know why. So I've also become much more sensitive in how I deal with the issue of children because we must never assume everybody has children. My sister from Mozambique spoke about the influence of media in shifting societal mindsets and negating stigma, because media can either increase the stigma or reduce it. And I've seen very responsible reporting in countries where Merck is running media training, like Namibia, where there is a difference in how we're reporting on these issues. So you heard a lot of similar things. A lot of the programs are similar. But one thing that you didn't hear any of us talk about is the integration of infertility treatment in public healthcare systems. Because that is the one thing we are all struggling with. I know there's policymakers and academics in the room. And the cost of providing this treatment is often what we see. But what we're not seeing is the hidden cost of what it takes to treat a society that does not want to deal with an issue. And often what we're not talking about enough is the burden that couples or individuals who suffer from infertility go through in order to fund their treatment, whether it's in different countries, like the First Lady of Botswana said, or trying to find money to pay private healthcare providers in their own countries for infertility treatment, which often isn't entirely successful. So what Merck is doing is what it can do. It's dealing with our mindsets, and it's really creating an environment where we all understand that the end goal is to make access and affordability of infertility treatment key as we deal with all of the societal issues at the same time. We've done very similar things to what all of the First Ladies have done with Merck in terms of postgraduate programs for doctors, the media awards, the scholarships, the Educating Linda programs. There was an Empowering Burner program where women received money for their economic projects. We did the storybooks. One thing I was grateful for Merck on the storybooks is we changed the names and some of the scenarios to suit the Namibian context. Because as much as things are very similar across the continent, they are also very different. So I like the flexibility, Dr. Rasha, that we must tweak to the nuances of the jurisdictions we come from. We, in addition to that, because we don't do things we don't believe in addition to what we did with Merck, we also made sure that the people in my office did a lot of thought leadership in the public domain, whether it was talking on radio stations, going onto TV, and actively addressing the issue of infertility. We did follow-up training with media practitioners. We made sure to build and maintain sound relationships with infertility specialists and media practitioners. We also held 2 national conferences on infertility, where we gathered people from all across the country, from all the different regions, into the central place, and we had a conference where we gave voice to the people who had to deal with infertility. one of the most moving accounts came from a man who spoke about his journey with infertility and the incredible cost it came to him. And I saw how moving it was for other men to realize they were not alone. We had a number of people speak on the stage. Dr. Rasha was there. As a matter of fact, I think it was a week before we closed the country's borders because at that point, I think the first case of COVID had just arrived in Namibia. So there was a lot of interesting points that came out of that national conference. And we were under a lot of pressure to have a second national conference, which we did, where again, we gave voice to the people dealing and struggling with infertility. We gave voice to policymakers. We gave voice to the healthcare professionals. Because as First Ladies, as we sit here, we do not know more about infertility than the healthcare professionals and the policymakers who are here. Our role is to amplify and make sure that access to information goes through, and we provide the leadership that you heard from today that is being provided by First Ladies. I quickly want to end by sharing some of the things that we saw very clearly is the integration of infertility care with mental health care. We certainly had to provide some mental health care support from some of the people who attended the infertility workshops. One of the things that came out the most in the conference was people saying to us, I thought I was alone. I didn't realize that so many other people are going through exactly what I'm going through. My sister from Malawi mentioned this. The other thing that we saw is the high numbers of women who are rejected by their partners due to infertility issues and who started to use alcohol. So we had to intervene on psychosocial issues like substance abuse, but also to refer them to psychological treatment and support services, and also assist them to access legal services, because often there's divorce proceedings as a result when family mediation doesn't work. We linked couples to adoption services. Not everybody wants to adopt, but there were certainly many breakthroughs with some couples who had accepted, who had gone through the treatments, they had no money left, but they still wanted a child and were happy and ready to adopt. We did talks and presentations in churches so that we could also enable churches and religious organizations to understand and accept that there is a way to deal with conflict and issues around infertility. There was a WhatsApp group created where often key messages, particularly from Merck Foundation, were shared on these WhatsApp groups, and just to make sure that the people participating did not feel alone. So there's very different approaches that are used, but ultimately, infertility isn't a single issue. It has so many aspects to it. So the multi-dimensional approach that you're seeing being used by Merck Foundation and that you're seeing that the First Ladies are applying in their respective countries is exceptionally important. It's exceptionally important, Dr. Rasha, to have this conference now, because all of us are focused very much on COVID and all of the consequences. So issues like infertility that we've historically neglected are even lower in our priority list than what they used to be. So thank you for the timing. I think the timing has been perfect. Thank you, my sisters, for your presence and for Merck Foundation for recognizing the impact and importance of the role of First Ladies and advocacy. Thank you very much.
Her Excellency, Madame Fatima Mada Bio, the First Lady of the Republic of Sierra Leone.
Good afternoon. Excellencies, my dear sisters, First Ladies of Africa, Dr. Rasha Kelej, the CEO of Merck Foundation, Professor Frank, my dance partner, and our boss here today, medical practitioners here, the media, delegates, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Indeed, it's a pleasure to be here in front of you to address issues as important as infertility. But while seated, listening to my sisters talking about the things they have done and the things they have achieved within COVID, I think African First Ladies deserve a round of applause for their hard work. It's not easy being an African First Lady in Africa these days. Like my sister Monica just said, everything wrong in Africa is caused by the African First Ladies. Sometimes it is really nice for people to recognize our work and celebrate us, because that will also motivate us to do more. I want to take this opportunity to say thank you to all of you health workers for your wonderful, wonderful work that you did in saving Africa from COVID-19. When COVID-19 started, the statistics that was out there actually said it was Africa that was going to suffer the most. But what they did not put in that data is the resilience that our health workers have. It is the courage and the love our health workers have for our continent. So, while other people or other health workers were running away, ours in Africa, we are standing the battle to save Africa. And we can say COVID-19 came, but COVID-19 understand that Africa was not the place for it to stay. Thank you. Talking about infertility brings me back to the work I do. I've been a First Lady since 2018, which is not long. But then the issue of gender equality and the issue of children has been part of my life since the age of 16, because I do understand what it means to have equality. When you come from a family like mine, the boys are always priority. Us, the girls, have to toe the line and allow the boys to thrive. So I have always believed that we can do something to change that. And now having the platform as the First Lady of Sierra Leone, I have channeled all my energy to focusing on gender equality, gender issues, rape, and early marriage. I channeled my energy on that, not because I feel like infertility is not priority. I think that women has to be given the voice to speak up. And when they have that voice to speak up, definitely, infertility will not be a stranger. We will talk about it. The issues that women go through are so enormous in Africa today, but our silence also is too deafening. And that's the reason why, as the First Lady of Sierra Leone, I have been choosing my subject, all the taboo subject. So every year I have an agenda. When I started a campaign called Hands Off Our Girls, and Hands Off Our Girls focuses on early marriage, teenage pregnancy, and rape. And I want to say thank you to my sisters, First Ladies, who came to Sierra Leone, where we actually had a public display and protest on the street of Freetown to just say enough is enough. That was the beginning of a revolution. And that campaign has transcended beyond the borders of Sierra Leone today. And when the COVID-19 started, I thought, okay, we are not able to congregate. What is it that I can do? But before that, I've had the wonderful opportunity to meet with Professor Frank and Rasha, and I have been blessed by Merck Foundation to support 42 doctors from my country to go and study, to be qualified for cancer, oncologists, and palliative care. While we were training these doctors, I was more worried about these doctors coming back home because they needed the facility to practice. When you train the doctors and they have such qualifications and they come back home, they don't have the avenue to practice, they're going to go to another country. And that started the project that I'm on right now, which is building a 500-bed hospital that will focus on our health facilities. And these doctors have all finished their studies, and they have all come back to Sierra Leone. They've started practicing, started helping our people. Before now, that didn't happen. June this year, I had the honor also to host Rasha in Sierra Leone, because I was also blessed for the United Nations Women's to ask that I host the sexual reproductive 10th year anniversary in Sierra Leone. So I had 950 delegates who came to Sierra Leone from 42 countries. And Rasha Kelej was one of the people who actually went to be our guest speaker to talk about this issue, talk about infertility, talk about what women can do to break the silence. And I want to say thank you, because your contribution also has enlightened the women and men of Sierra Leone. Infertility is not just a woman's problem, it's everybody's problem. But then when a woman, if you're married into a cultural home and you don't have a child within a year, the second year, if you're lucky, your mother-in-law will not be in your bedroom, because they will start to demand for a child, as if it is only a woman that makes babies. I think babies are made by two people, a woman and a man. If a woman is not able to be pregnant, the possibility could also be that the man is not able to pregnate the woman. But in Africa, they don't see it that way. When a woman is not pregnant, when they get married, immediately it is their fault. And then the threat they come up with in this, our traditional family, we're going to have another wife for your husband. As if bringing another wife will solve the problem, if the problem is actually the man. Even if you bring 10 wives, they will not have children unless the man treats themselves and understand that the infertility problem is their problem. So my urge to this congregation here, as we propagate the deafening silence on infertility, let us also look inwards. Let us also look into our homes and check who is the problem. And the only way we can do that is by testing each other. It's about taking the treatment that is needed for everyone, male and female, and then we will have a solution. But also when a woman has a problem like this, such as infertility, don't stigmatize them. Do not stigmatize a woman just because they are not able to bear a child. There is no woman on this planet Earth who doesn't want to have a child. So don't stigmatize them. Let us support them. Let us give them the opportunity. My being here, addressing this congregation, was one, to bring to my sisters, First Ladies, that last Monday, as they're all aware of what I have been working on, because we all follow each other's work, we all see what we're doing. My focus, like I said from the beginning, has been on children and rape issues. And I've been pushing the United Nations to listen to Africa's cry, because I believe this is a problem in Africa too. It is a huge problem that we have to deal with. So on the 7th of this month, I had the opportunity to be the First Lady to address the United Nations, asking them to give us an international day for us, African First Ladies, to be able to commemorate with rape victims so that we'll be able to listen to their cries. And I want to say, with the support of the Catholic Church, the United Nations actually adopted that resolution by consensus Monday gone. So from the 18th of this November this year, we now have an international day to celebrate or to commemorate rape victims and survivors all over the world. And I would want to ask my sisters, First Ladies, to not see this as an achievement for Fatima, but to see it as an African achievement, because this is the first time in the history of the United Nations to have an African First Lady, or to even have any First Lady address the General Assembly in the UN. And for me to be there and come out with a consensus where the whole world stood by me and say, yes, we have had Africa's cry and we're going to support it. They've given us a date, November 18, and I'm hoping that Merck Foundation and my sisters First Ladies will partner with the United Nations so that we can commemorate this day. And I want to say thank you, because this is what I have been focusing on. But I'm going to make a pledge to Merck Foundation today that I am going to also now put infertility as one of my priority list, because I know one thing: when I focus on an agenda, I focus with that agenda with my life, and infertility will be my agenda, and I'll pursue it and make sure Sierra Leone will talk about infertility and the support that Sierra Leone needs for infertility, women and men. We will find a solution to it. I want to say thank you for your ever always supportive sisterly advice and love. Thank you for training my doctors. And have I had enough with what I've had all my sisters talking about what they have got from Merck Foundation? I'm hoping my own list will be great next time I stand here. Please, I know you are supporting, you actually contacted us for the education. I could not bring education to you because we have already given free education in Sierra Leone, which the government is paying for. So asking you to support girls for free education, to support girls for their education, I think for me it would be like ripping you off, because they already have that facility. But what I will ask from Merck Foundation is that when we now start cascading these infertility issues, please make those women priority also, because when they come out and speak about an issue like this, they are going to be stigmatized, and we should be there to support them and make them know that they are not in this alone. So thank you so very much, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. May God help us all. Thank you.
The First Lady of the Republic of Zambia, Her Excellency, Mrs. Mutinta Hichilema.
Good afternoon to you all. I'm sure you agree with me that the veterans have spoken. It's unfortunately that we had to follow the alphabetical order. Our First Lady's President of Namibia should have been the last one to speak. Your Excellencies, all First Ladies present, Professor Dr. Frank Sternberg, Merck Foundation Chairman, Dr. Rasha Kelej, Chief Executive of Merck Foundation Senator, Merck Foundation, partners and alumni, the media, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, all protocols observed. Greetings to you all and happy 5th anniversary Merck Foundation. I'm very excited to join you today for the first time as a member of the prestige platform Merck Foundation First Ladies Initiative, 9th edition of Merck Foundation Africa, Asia, Luminary. As a new member, I'm looking forward to working closely with you all to achieve our goals as First Ladies, to support our communities and strengthen our nations. To ensure that we achieve this, Merck Foundation appointed me as an ambassador of More Than a Mother campaign of which I'm proud of. Your Excellencies, I'm positive that our efforts will yield positive results, especially that we have this privilege of physical interaction with one another when we will exchange our experiences. My dear sisters, we cannot underestimate the power of collaboration in achieving our agendas in our respective countries. We have to join hands, exchange experiences, and work around the clock in close collaboration to continue serving our countries. Therefore, such meetings, either in person or virtual, are very important. Your Excellencies, I must state that since we took office, we have embarked on a joint program with Merck Foundation called Educating Linda. To support girl education, we provide scholarship to girls to complete their tertiary education. So far, a total of 22 girls have been captured under this program and have received scholarship to cover their tuition fees of nursing and social programs in universities. This scholarship will continue until they complete their education successfully. This program is aligned to my vision of supporting and empowering a girl child. I strongly believe that girl education will help reduce the many challenges women have on vulnerability as they eventually attain economic independence. Ladies and gentlemen, we all know that girl education is one of the most critical areas of women empowerment. It is also an area that represents some of the distinct examples of discrimination women suffer. While educating girls leads our nation to a better future, it helps to strengthen our families, communities, and countries at all levels, and helps end child marriage and improve the status of every member in the family. Therefore, we have broadened our focus area in supporting girl education by also attending to primary and early childhood education. I'm glad to report that as a first initiative, Merck Foundation donated 3,000 sets school items to distribute to school to support their education. I must also mention that I'm alive to the fact that Merck Foundation has worked with other First Ladies in the previous governments in Zambia before. We are grateful as a country for the support rendered in various programs that they conducted and implemented in various sectors such as media and health. As a country, we can attest that the health sector benefited tremendously from your support through the specialized training of our medical doctors. We will continue to scale up the program with the aim to establish a strong platform of skilled, well-trained healthcare experts in the health sector in my country. I'm sincerely grateful of Merck Foundation for your continued support in my country. I'm also eagerly looking forward to a much more strengthened partnership with all of you, Your Excellencies, in order to better our countries. I thank you so much for your attention.
Excellences, Mesdames les Premières Dames d'Afrique, chères sœurs, Excellences, Mesdames et Messieurs les ministres, Monsieur le professeur Frank Stangenberg-Averkamp, Chairman of Merck Foundation, Dr. Rasha Kelej, Chief Executive Officer de Merck Foundation, distingués invités, Mesdames et Messieurs, c'est pour moi un immense plaisir de vous rejoindre aujourd'hui virtuellement sur cette plateforme prestigieuse dont je fais partie depuis que j'ai commencé mon partenariat avec la Fondation Merck en 2016. Je profite de cette opportunité pour vous adresser mes sincères et fraternelles salutations. Depuis la première conférence à laquelle j'ai assisté en Côte d'Ivoire en 2016 et dans d'autres pays où la Fondation Merck a organisé des conférences, c'est la première fois que je n'ai pas pu vous rejoindre en personne cette année. Cela est dû à une coïncidence de chronogramme qui a nécessité mon déplacement dans un autre pays. J'aimerais profiter de cette occasion pour rendre un hommage particulier aux membres de notre importante plateforme et apprécier ce précieux partenariat que j'entretiens avec la Fondation Merck en tant qu'ambassadrice de Plus qu'une mère. Je suis très heureuse du fort engagement de la Fondation Merck à vouloir renforcer les capacités des médecins et à nous accompagner dans la mobilisation de la population sur des problèmes importants de santé publique de mon pays et à travers l'Afrique et l'Asie. Je suis également très fière de notre programme Empowering Berna, dans le cadre duquel nous avons créé de petits commerces pour les femmes infertiles et sans enfants, et les avons formées à la gestion de leur commerce afin qu'elles puissent avoir un revenu, devenir indépendantes et avoir un espoir pour une vie meilleure. Dans le cadre de ce programme, ma fondation a fait des progrès en identifiant en collaboration avec le département des affaires sociales 431 femmes victimes d'infertilité dans la préfecture de la Ouaka à Bombari, située à plus de 385 km de la capitale de la République centrafricaine. À l'instar des anciennes femmes infertiles prises en charge à Bangui, à Damara et à Mbaïki, dans le cadre de ce programme Empowering Berna, la Fondation Cri de cœur d'une mère est en train de développer un programme pour celles de Bombari, dont la mise en œuvre dépendra des ressources qui seront mobilisées. De plus, elle envisage étendre cette initiative dans 5 autres localités du pays, conformément à son plan d'action. Au nom de mon pays, la République centrafricaine, je suis très fière et très heureuse de m'associer à la Fondation et de travailler en étroite collaboration avec elle, car elle nous aide à faire progresser et à renforcer le système de santé en Centrafrique en offrant des bourses à nos médecins locaux dans diverses spécialités médicales. Jusqu'à présent, une bourse dans le domaine de l'oncologie et 4 dans le domaine du diabète ont été déjà accordées par la Fondation Merck. Pour mon pays, les besoins en spécialistes dans le domaine de l'oncologie et du diabète sont encore énormes. Et nous attendons la décision de Merck pour la reprise de ce programme afin de nous permettre de proposer d'autres médecins à former. De plus, dans le cadre de la mobilisation de la population autour des programmes appuyés par la Fondation Merck, 5 candidats centrafricains ont reçu des prix de reconnaissance média d'Afrique de la Fondation Merck intitulé « Restez à la maison, plus qu'une mère, portez des masques avec soin » dans différentes catégories de canaux de communication en présence du ministre de la Communication. Dans le cadre du programme Éduquer Linda, afin de soutenir l'éducation des filles, nous venons de distribuer 3000 kits scolaires fournis par Merck aux écolières centrafricaines d'une école de Bangui et 2 autres écoles en périphérique de Bangui. Pour ce programme, la Fondation Merck va bientôt offrir des bourses à 20 écolières défavorisées de notre pays pour une durée de 5 ans. Distinguée personnalité. C'est aussi pour moi un grand plaisir et un agréable devoir de travailler avec mes chères sœurs, les premières dames d'Afrique, en collaboration avec la Fondation Merck pour transformer le paysage des soins aux patients, briser la stigmatisation de l'infertilité, soutenir l'éducation des filles et sensibiliser sur différents fléaux à travers l'Afrique. Par ailleurs, je voudrais profiter du haut de cette tribune qui m'est offerte pour rendre un hommage mérité à la Fondation Merck pour ses précieux dons offerts à mon pays dans le domaine de la santé, de l'éducation et de la communication. C'est pourquoi, au nom des bénéficiaires, au nom du peuple centrafricain et en mon nom propre, je voudrais lui adresser toute ma gratitude. Je voudrais aussi adresser toute ma gratitude à mes sœurs, les premières dames. Avant de terminer mon propos, je voudrais rassurer la Fondation Merck de l'importance que j'accorde à notre partenariat déjà agissant et du souhait de continuer de travailler ensemble. Joyeux anniversaire à la Fondation Merck. Vive le partenariat entre la Fondation Cri de cœur d'une mère et la Fondation Merck. Je souhaite plein succès aux travaux de la 9e édition de Merck Foundation Africa Asia Luminary. Je vous remercie.
My dear sisters, Your Excellencies, First Ladies, Chairman of Executive Board of Merck, Professor Dr. Frank Stangenberg-Haverkamp, CEO of Merck Foundation, Senator Dr. Rasha Kelej, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me great pleasure to join you virtually today and to join at this important conference and on this very important occasion, the 5th anniversary of Merck Foundation. Happy anniversary, Merck Foundation, from strength to strength. I could not join in person this year due to my engagement with the election, but I am sure I will join you in person at this important platform next year. I am very impressed to hear from you all, my dear sisters, about your experiences and the amazing success of your long-term partnership with Merck Foundation during the past 5 years. I would like to share that I am working with my team and Merck Foundation to start our partnership, specially to implement the Educating Linda program, which aims to empower girls through education and end child marriage. This program is very close to my heart, as I consider it one of my main objectives as the First Lady of Angola and as an African woman. I strongly believe that girl education is one of the most critical areas of women empowerment. Therefore, I'm looking forward to working closely with Merck Foundation to launch this important program in Angola. I am also looking forward to receiving copies of the children's storybooks to raise awareness about many important issues like supporting girls' education, ending child marriage and gender-based violence, diabetes, and hypertension awareness. Moreover, I am very excited about the 8 important different competitions for our communities, which are Best Media, Song, Film, and Fashion Awards, with the aim to encourage media, musicians, fashion designers, filmmakers, students, and new potential talents in these fields to play their important role in sensitizing their communities about many critical social and health issues. Last but not least, I am looking forward to meeting all my dear sisters next year in person to share with you the impact of our partnership with Merck Foundation to support girl education and build healthcare and media capacity in Angola. Happy 5th anniversary again.
Good morning, Good morning, Your Excellencies, the First Ladies of Africa. Good morning, Professor Frank Stangenberg-Haverkamp, the Chairperson of Merck Executive Board and Merck Foundation Board of Trustees. Good morning, First Ladies, technical advisors, and staff. Today is a very special day because we have our closed meeting together with our Ambassador of Merck Foundation More Than a Mother campaign. I'm very honored to have you today here. Today is a very special meeting because this is the first closed committee meeting after coronavirus. I think the last committee meeting was in Accra in Ghana, where Her Excellency, the First Lady of Ghana, Madame Rebecca Akufo-Addo, invited us and hosted us for our 7th edition of Merck Foundation Africa Asia Luminary. And of course, during that meeting in Accra in Ghana in 2019, which today we are 2022, we had a lot of following up on our programs and impact. And of course, it was following the plenary session and the inauguration session of the day before, where every First Lady has introduced and presented the impact of Merck Foundation partnership and programs in her country. And I was very much impressed and proud and delighted to hear yesterday all the improvement that we have done, not only from the start of our partnership, but also during the coronavirus pandemic, which everyone was expecting that it will slow us down and will not make us continue with our vision because and our mission, because everyone was focusing on emergency strategy of corona pandemic, safety and health aspects and so on. But because we believed in the strategy of building healthcare capacity since 2012, actually, this proved that our strategy was really the correct strategy, and it was a strong one, and everyone now understands the impact of developing and advancing the healthcare sector, especially the public sector. Therefore, the focus on our programs was even more stronger and more impactful, and everyone from our ambassadors of the First Ladies was really focusing very, very hard and in a special way to make the programs even more successful, because we introduced also the online master degree and diploma in more than 32 medical specialties, which is underserved and critical for Africa. So it was actually defeating the challenge that, of course, nobody can travel, nobody can study abroad. So this online training, and it was very sophisticated in many universities in UK, even the one we introduced in French and Portuguese and Spanish, it was actually produced by South Wales University in UK. So it was really impactful and helped many of the doctors to develop their skills and their specialty and to be the first specialist in their country. And going alphabetically from Z to A today, when I heard, of course, the speech and the talking points of Her Excellency, the First Lady of Zambia, and of course we just know each other recently, like we appointed Her Excellency. It was a great honor for us to be an ambassador of Merck Foundation More Than a Mother in September. We started our program, but we started very active even from the first day. We had the educating Linda, educating girls, which is very important. And we here commit that Merck Foundation will continue supporting the education of the girls, but also I believe that meeting the technical advisors with our team on the 14th of this month before the Luminary will also implement the building healthcare capacity and continuation of the scholarships that we are going to provide for doctors in the public sector of healthcare, which we provided until now 80 scholarships, and we want to continue with more because this is going to transform the patient care landscape in the country. So thank you very much, Your Excellency, for being with us here today, and we will continue, and I am sure next year we will have a lot of things to report, a lot of videos and pictures to showcase for people what we've done together. So thank you very much. And of course, my dear sister and long-term partner, Her Excellency, the First Lady of Sierra Leone. Congratulations for the resolution of UN for supporting and the victims and the survivor of rape. I visited Sierra Leone 2 months ago, and I was impressed, of course, with all the great work she's doing to support girls and women, especially Hands Off Our Girls campaign. And also the Hospital 34, which is she establishing to accommodate the trainees and the scholarships we provided for the doctors of Sierra Leone, which is 46 by today scholarships for doctors in oncology, but also in many other specialties like reproductive care and sexual care and diabetes and cardiovascular preventive. And this hospital with a 500 beds will help very much also transform the patient care and access of the patient of Sierra Leone to equitable and quality healthcare solution. We will support that, and also we will support our programs with you and continue training the doctors in Sierra Leone and empowering girls and women through our awareness campaign and through your social media, of course, platform, which is booming. And all this will be a great impact. So thank you very much for having us in between your trips. The one you got the resolution and the one you're going to meet the Vatican tomorrow. So thank you very much for squeeze our meeting in between, and congratulations. And my dear sister, the First Lady of Namibia, I thank you very much for summarizing yesterday and listening very well to all the speeches and coming up with each highlight of each country. I also thank you very much for coming to us during your birthday, which is very important day. But and you never leave the country during your birthday, and you did it for us, for Merck Foundation. So thank you very much for this special treatment. And I'd like to thank you for your involvement personally in infertility and having the platform to speak to women and to men and couples and address the psychological factor beside the medical factor, which is very important, and trying to break the taboo about certain wording and terminologies used in African continent in general and in Namibia, so people will understand that this is not a taboo and not a stigma, and it's not correct to treat women living with infertility or couples living with infertility with that stress and psychological stress and abuse, actually. So this is really important. But also we started after our partnership with a very important program, which is also building healthcare capacity and providing scholarships, which was not taking off at all before we joined our partnership. We started our partnership. So now we have almost 40 scholarships provided to Namibian doctors, who's local doctors in the public sector, with specialty training in around 32 specialty. They're doing all very well. And before that, the specialist was only in the private sector, and mostly maybe foreigner like South African and other nationalities, and few Namibian. But I think this transformation will make amazing addition to the healthcare in Namibia and for patients and communities and families. So thank you very much for making this happen, because this will never happen without her support, definitely. So thank you very much. And for Her Excellency, the First Lady of Mozambique, thank you very much for coming to us in our meeting in after Corona, long time. The last time we met, it was in 2019. In Mafli, and I promised that we are coming to visit Mozambique to launch our programs, but I would like to thank you also for contributing to the community awareness through your team regarding the media awards and the other awards that we are doing to raise awareness about breaking the stigma on fertility and educating girls education, and the storybooks we distributed. By the way, everything we do, we have to translate to French and Portuguese by default. So all our programs, all our stories, even the song we heard yesterday, we had Blaise from Mozambique, which is a singer from Mozambique, to do the diabetes song and other songs about girls' education. So thank you very much for being with us. Her Excellency, the First Lady of Malawi, yes, so we thank you very much for being with us, and thank you very much for the continuous communication between me and you on WhatsApp regarding our programs. I'd like very much your passion about infertility and how you actually inviting everyone that was our programs in Merck Foundation, either doctors who graduated from the scholarships or educating the girls' education and the scholars of the girls' education, and the fertile couples and the women that suffer infertility to the State House from time to time to have a dialogue with them and to encourage them to speak up and to figure out the things that you want to include in your program. This is very important for us. Also, your involvement to distribute the education scholarships and the storybooks and the school items. So actually, thank you very much for this active contribution. We had a challenge before you joined for the scholarships of the doctors, and you already convinced the doctors that this is very important, because I was expecting that when we offer the scholarships, there is a lot of doctors will come, but they didn't want to apply at all. And then she called them to the State House and convinced them how this scholarship is very important for them as a career and for the country. So they start to apply, and now they're doing very well. But before they didn't want, correct? So thank you very, very much, Your Excellency, for that. Her Excellency, the First Lady of Liberia, thank you very much for all the things you are doing for the girls in Liberia and for women. We started the sanitary towel manufacturing program, but also we started the scholarships for doctors, and it's really impressive that we have now 21 scholarships we provided for doctors, and the first specialist in many specialty in Liberia, like oncology, like diabetes, and cardiovascular, respiratory, and ICU, and we are hoping to have even more specialty. And of course, girls' education and the scholarships we provided for girls. So thank you very much for this, and for acknowledging our work and myself during the speech, your speech. Thank you very much for that. And I hope that we continue and we come to Liberia also to visit. Your Excellency, the First Lady of Ghana, I'd like to thank you for many things. First, of course, hosting the Luminary in 2019, which was an amazing memory, and actually something that we cannot even aspire to make similar, because it was really lovely. It was lovely. We enjoyed it so much. And it was our last one before Corona, so the memory is still like still alive even now. So, and of course, for all the active contribution for yourself and your team, they are doing great things, and I like very much the idea which I copied, the TV program, Because I Wanna Be. And I knew how this makes a big difference in social media, and the girls that listen to it and inspires them to continue their education and to make more, of their career, reach their potential. So we started also our program, which is Our Africa by Merck Foundation, where we address in this TV program all the wide range of social and health aspects, everything from infertility to child marriage to FGM, and through fashion and art. Because I know that our fashion and art is very important for all Africa. and it can really influence and have a critical role. So we copied this idea because we find it very, very successful, and we broadcast it even in Ghana, in Kenya, in Sierra Leone, in Zambia and Zimbabwe, in many countries, like 9 countries now, and people are really, the young people are really listening to it and making a great contribution, comments and stuff. This is how we create culture shift. But of course, the scholarships also, we provided 112 scholarships for doctors, and this is really great also with your support because they trust, of course, the work of the First Lady Office and so on. So thank you very, very much, Your Excellency. Her Excellency, the First Lady of the Gambia. We started in 2017 in Cairo. Was the first attendees as a guest of honor for our first Luminary, where we launched Merck Foundation for the first time. So you are long-term partner for many, many, many years. And we achieved a lot of things, and you always support me even to introduce Merck Foundation to new First Ladies, and I appreciate that very much. I appreciate also your attention to disability, to fistula, to infertility, to building healthcare. You said that you have 150 applicants for doctors this year. So your involvement with each ministry is very appreciative, and we are supporting that. And we always meet and we discuss new programs and how we support. So thank you very much, Your Excellency. Your Excellency, the First Lady of the Democratic Republic of Congo, thank you for joining us for the first time in our Luminary. I hope that you're enjoying it, and it's good, and you join the next and the next and the next. And thank you very much. We met in 2020 during Corona, and once you joined, and since then we started our programs very strongly, and we want to even continue more and more. We've done a lot in girls' education, the awards of the media recognition, which is there are too many winners from Congo, and of course the scholarships for diabetes, which is more than 35 by now. So of course we want to continue more, and we want to add more to our programs and our portfolio. And we meet, I'm sure we meet next year in Kinshasa with Professor Dr. Frank Stangenberg-Haverkamp, so we can launch our programs as well. So thank you very much for being with us today. Her Excellency, the First Lady of Burundi, I would like to thank you so much. Once for the beautiful song that your daughter made, Lucky, and dedicated for us and sang it herself about More Than a Mother. And thank you also for the first public IVF that she established in Burundi. First public IVF, which I think the first public IVF in sub-Saharan East Africa, which is very important and very difficult, because I know that it's you know, there is a lot of challenges to achieve this, but we trained all the staff. But also establishing the mental health hospital that you are going to establish, and the fistula treatment hospital. You show me these 3 hospitals. It's great achievement. So thank you very much for this. But also your contribution to girls' education and distributing the scholarships on doctors and the awards. So thank you and congratulations. Thank you very, very much. Of course, I will not miss Her Excellency, the First Lady of Botswana. She came also during her birthday, and she is very interested, but she has to leave today for a school, her daughter's school obligation. But I would like to thank her for her contribution to the scholarships as well of the doctors, but also her contribution towards stopping GBV, gender-based violence. She's very passionate about this topic. So we contributed with her in this as well. And of course, as you said, the building fertility care capacity in the public sector. So it's very important. Who's not with us also today is Central African Republic. I will not miss mentioning her and wish her good health She's abroad, as we said, couldn't attend, but she attended with us since 2016, every year, continuously. So I thank her very much for her support and all the work she does for fertility and other work. Her Excellency, the First Lady of Zimbabwe, also she's not here today, but we worked so hard, and I visited Zimbabwe, and we worked so hard about also building healthcare capacity and girls' education, as well as Her Excellency, the First Lady of Nigeria. She couldn't come today because she is engaged in the election. She's sending a message to all of you saying that she's sorry that she was not being able to be here today, but it's out of her hand, and she sends her regards to all of you. So I thank her as well for all the hard work that we are doing together. I think I did not miss, First Lady of Angola, thank her very, very much for joining us online yesterday, although she's very busy in her election as well, and to have the contribution and the speech, although there was a little technical things, but we going to translate all this and put it on the social media and send it to all of you, so you can hear. We will continue my meeting with the technical advisors of Angola today, so we can start our programs very actively. I finished, and I would like now to thank you, all of you, and also to invite Professor Frank Stangenberg-Haverkamp for a small keynote that he wants to address all of you. I just wanted to summarize this for all of us, because I wanted also to be recorded for the social media, and everyone who couldn't attend yesterday or have difficulty to hear, they will understand what we are doing together.
Thank you very much, Rasha. I'm talking a bit out of the program, I have to admit, but it's very close to my heart to say some words. I listened very carefully yesterday to your different statements in the big meeting, and I must say each of you said something which really went down extremely well, because it showed the personal commitment you all have in getting our cause forward to get a better life for everybody possible, and particularly for women. You know, my heart is very much in Africa, since I spent my honeymoon some now 50 years ago. Now you know how old I am, in Namibia in those days. It was a lovely time I had. And from then on, I always have been a very great fan, not only of Namibia, of all countries, of course. Yeah. 10 years ago, we started thinking about how could we extend our philanthropic work in Africa. You know, we have been involved with the WHO for many years in fighting bilharziosis in Africa, and we are seeing more and more success in that respect. Then we came up with the idea that we should really do something for African women. I think that was the core of it, because I traveled Africa extensively, and I saw that the main cause why Africa is really functioning, is ticking, that's mainly by the women. And I really say that with the full support of my heart. If you travel in a Land Cruiser through Africa, you see women everywhere, on the fields, sitting at the street, selling on market stands and so on. I will not tell you what the men are doing during those times, but that's something different. You know it all. They're also working, of course. So that was when the whole idea of providing funding for what at the end turned out to be the Merck Foundation. We were very fortunate that we found a CEO which is very forceful, very strong-minded, and really, I don't want to mention any name, of course, but we all know who it is, and of course she is a part of the success of it. But the biggest part of the success are you, the First Ladies. Without, I really mean it, and I always tell my colleagues also in Darmstadt, you see, every dollar, every pound sterling, every euro spent in this cause is worthwhile, because the support of the First Ladies in Africa makes this success possible. Look at all the NGOs that spent billions over the years, yeah, with hardly the same success we have with our budget and with your help. And I really would like to thank you from my deepest heart that you do it. It's not a natural thing to do, but of course you use your position as First Ladies in the best possible way. And that's something very unique to Africa as well. A First Lady in Europe hasn't got that power and that influence, but you have it, and you use it well. So thank you very much for that, and please continue doing so. We will support you as good as we can. Thank you.
Today we have our tradition that we read together a storybook that support one of the causes. Last time we read David's story. It was to support breaking infertility stigma and raising awareness about infertility for children since young age, from young age, and to establish a strong family value of love and respect for children and young people who read this story. This was David's story. Today we have two stories that are really important for girl education and ending child marriage. The Jacqueline Rescue to support girl education and end child marriage, and Ride into the Future to support girl education. So we will read Jacqueline Rescue. So let's start with me, and then we will go alphabetically from First Lady of Zambia till the First Lady of Burundi. Okay. It's a bright sunny Tuesday morning, and the first lesson of the day is underway of the village primary school. The teacher, Mrs. Aisha, is testing her students' understanding of topic they treated a day before. Mrs. Aisha, who can tell me the square root of 81 multiplied by 7? Anyone? Yes, Grace. Me, madam. It's 12, madam. No, Grace, 12 is not the correct answer. Who else? I know, it's 13. And how did you arrive at that? I'm not sure, madam, but Grace said 12, and you said it was wrong, so I wanted to try 13. So now, square root has turned into exciting number in ascendancy. Are you serious, Robert?
As the class continued to lunch, the hand gently goes out in the back of the classroom. Me, madam? Yes, Jacqueline. Are you about to make any meaningful contribution? Would you be telling the answer is 14? No, madam. The square root of 81 is 9, and 9 multiplied by 7 squares. 7 equals 63. Wonderful. That is amazing, Jacqueline. Give her a round of applause. That is what happened. Thanks, Jacqueline. You just saved the class. This is a pride, Jacqueline. A brilliant, highly self-motivated 15-year-old schoolgirl carries with her almost every day of her life. Thanks. Yay. We are proud of you.
Jacqueline's usual working path back home seems more interesting today. For the first time, as she walked past the village community hospital, she noticed the hard-working, smartly dressed medical staff going about their work. The ones attending to the mothers and children queued at the center got most of her attention. She couldn't help but notice the passion with which the nurses carried out their duties, seeing to needs of the malnourished-looking children. In a brief moment, Jacqueline's pictured herself in the future, smartly dressed up in a doctor's uniform and happily attending to mothers and children in a big hospital. Hey, what are you thinking about? I ask what you were thinking about. Oh, just a fanciful dream of being a doctor from kids.
A pediatrician, you mean? Yes, working at a big hospital. That's a wonderful big dream. And dreams do happen, you know. At a young age, Jacqueline fully understands that this kind of dream can be achieved only through hard work. She has also grasped the harsh economic and financial realities of her family. Yes, I believe so. I need to work hard to make it happen. Despite all the potential stumbling blocks in her way, she is determined to finish her education to pursue this newfound dream. See you tomorrow. Don't forget to study for the test. Yes, Jacqueline, thanks. Early the next morning, just before setting out to school, Jacqueline's distressed-looking father called her to sit and have a very important talk with her. Jacqueline, come over here and have a seat. We need to talk. We've been trying hard to see you through your education, but I can no longer afford to do so. I have run out of money. Most of your school fees I've been paying have been borrowed money. Now I must pay back. Okay, Father, but why are you telling me this? What would you have me do about it? Nothing. At this point, your mother and I have no choice but to marry you to Papa Sadiq.
Assim conseguiremos dinheiro do seu dote para cuidar de nós mesmos e do teu irmão mais novo. Casamento? Pai, o que é isso? Mãe, do que ela está a falar? Não entendo. Por favor, explique. Desculpe, minha filha. Tu vais entender quando chegares lá. Acredita em mim, minha filha. É para o bem de todos nós. Mas ainda não entendi. Eu sou apenas uma criança. Isso seria tudo. Prepara-te para o teu casamento na próxima semana. Por favor, pai, o que vai acontecer comigo agora? Com medo de fazer mais perguntas, Jacqueline sai correndo de casa e começa a chorar tanto quanto as suas jovens pernas podem levá-la. Ela corre para a senhora Aisha, sua professora. Talvez ela pudesse ajudá-la a entender o que o seu pai acabara de dizer. O que é isso, Jacqueline? A senhora Aisha estava a preparar-se para ir à escola quando Jacqueline irrompeu em seu complexo com lágrimas escorrendo pelo rosto inocente. Meu pai disse que não pode mais pagar as minhas propinas escolares, então ele vai casar-me. Casar? O quê? Isto não está certo. O casamento não é para crianças. Vou ter que falar com seu pai contra este plano.
Mrs. Aisha sends Jacqueline back home with a promise to visit right after sorting out her students for their morning lesson. When she went inside, she was met with an unpleasant surprise. Uncle Sadiq is here to marry you. See all the bride price. Jacqueline, come over here. Today is your lucky day. When Jacqueline got home, she saw a car parked in front of the house. Sorry for the sudden appearance. I felt I needed to get this off the list to enable me to attend to other activities. Here is a little cash for all the inconvenience caused. Oh my God. Ha ha ha. Darling, quickly get Jacqueline a dress to change. She's leaving for the city right away. What, Father? I can't wait to start my new life with my beautiful bride. Cheer up, my sweetheart. You'll be fine. Mrs. Aisha, how I wish you were here. It was time to set off. We wish you both well. Sadly, Jacqueline found herself driven away from home. I can't believe this. I can't believe this is happening to me. I feel so hopeless. Soon they were in the big city. 15-year-old Jacqueline begins her strange new life with her 35-year-old husband. Jacqueline, darling, it's time to wake up to your household chores. I am late for work.
She's suddenly thrown into an adult world where she has to do things she used to see her mother do for her father. I cannot believe I'm having to do all of this on a daily basis. Cleaning and washing of clothes, ironing, going to the market, and cooking for the house. I was never prepared for this. How do I endure this in addition to his physical abuse? I am so stressed out. She would often cry all day after her husband leaves for work. Schooling was out of the question, and as the days go by, her hopes and dreams of becoming a pediatrician is dashed against the wall. Oh my God, help me. This is not the future I had in mind. I can't go on like this. I feel so abused and tired.
Meanwhile, back in the village, Jacqueline's teacher, Mrs. Aisha, has not given up on rescuing and returning her to school. She has managed to gain the support of a few influential members of the community. Early child marriage is not only harmful to our children's health and well-being, but also locks the girls' future in poverty. Without education, our girls' potential to get good jobs in the future to support their families is reduced. At what age is it safe to marry our girls off? At least from 18 years, when their bodies would be reasonably matured enough to handle the stress of marriage. Early marriage will force them out of education, increasing their risk of ill health, violence, and abuse. No way, that's not the kind of future I want for my girl child, never. Soon it became all clear to the community gathering that the best way to protect the child and break the cycle of family poverty would be to keep the girl child in school. We have a responsibility to protect our children, especially the girls. I would not entertain anyone pushing any girl into marriage before 18 years from this day forth. The rapturous applause that followed the chief's speech put hope and a big smile on Mrs. Aisha's face.
With this new mindset of people coupled with the local police involvement, it didn't take long to get Jacqueline's father to succumb. I feel so sorry and irresponsible as a parent for having sent our daughter into early marriage. This can be fixed. The earlier you show us where they lived in the city, the safer it might be for Jacqueline. Mrs. Isa, together with the police, traveled to the city earlier the next morning. I think this should be the house officer. Let's knock the door to see if anyone is at home. Meanwhile, inside the house, come here, you little useless girl. This is how your mother taught you to iron a dress? Oh, please, it hurts. Shut up. I will show you what really hurts. Ha! Who could that be so early this morning? Ha! It's the police. Are you Mr. Sadiq? No, I am not. Hey, you stop. Mrs. Isa, you came to my rescue. I am so grateful. That's all right, my dear. You don't deserve this abuse ever. Come, now let's go home. The law will deal well with Mr. Sadiq.
Je suis si heureuse d'être libre du mariage des enfants. Aucune fille dans ce pays n'a besoin de subir cet abus.
Sophie, une glorieuse fête de retour dans le quartier. Hi les amis, c'est Madame Aïcha et Jacqueline. Elles sont de retour. Les camarades de classe et amis de Jacqueline s'étaient tous réunis chez elle pour l'accueillir à nouveau. Content de te voir, Jacqueline. Vous nous avez tellement manqué. Vous m'avez tout manqué aussi. Un grand merci pour toutes vos prières et votre soutien. Après avoir considéré les tourments et le traitement indigne qu'elle a dû subir, l'école et le chef du village lui ont réservé un cadeau spécial. Le conseil de l'école et moi-même avons décidé de vous offrir une bourse complète. Les filles comme vous méritent tout le soutien nécessaire pour avoir un avenir meilleur. Oh mon Dieu, je ne peux pas le croire. Jacqueline était ravie. En fait, elle pouvait faire ce qu'elle avait toujours voulu faire. Oui, je suis de retour à l'école. C'est tellement génial.
Some years later, Jacqueline completes her primary and secondary education with flying colors. Finally, I made it here. I'm going to equally study hard to graduate with a first class and proceeds to higher education. When she later graduates as a qualified pediatrician, her dream job. Yes, I made it. Alongside her profession, Jacqueline decides to turn her expertise and skills in cooking into a real business. She sets up Jackie Chow, an NGO back in the village with a special goal of catering for malnourished kids in the neighborhood. Occasionally, she runs a mobile clinic in the community to offer free health and screening sessions for families. It was her way of saying a big thank you for the rescue and support. Finish this meal and quickly head to the screening center. We want to make sure you are a healthy children. You are all healthy children. Yes, Auntie Jacqueline, thank you so much. A story of child marriage, written and illustrated by Jones Aban.
The story is in 3 languages, and it will be put on the social media and websites, and also distributed as hard copies in each country for students. Now we will start right into the future. It's a bright school day again, and most of the children in the community are off early for classes. As usual, Grace, a young bright girl, can only look from the corridor of her home. Oh God, how I wish I was also dressed in my uniform to join them go to school. Grace, where are you? You are running late. The boy must return to Ma'am Siroa. Yes, Mother. And what is with the dropping face? Mother, when can I also join my friends too? Don't, Grace. We have discussed this already. Aside from the financial constraints, I have told you the walking distance to school is way too long and dangerous for a child like you. But I wish to go to school, Mom, and I become an engineer one day. That schooling and engineering ambitions can rest for now. You do as I say. Pick the items and off you go.
Grace suddenly leaves the house and makes her way to the town center to deliver the goods. All I want is to be in school. How long will I continue to be left behind? There you go, Aunt Sewa. Thank you, Grace. Regards to your mother. The whole morning, as usual, was spent on errands, household chores, a little break, and more chores. Soon school was over, and most of the kids are returning home. Hello, Grace. We are back. Hope to see you soon. Sure, consider me there. Great. We have some new books you must be interested in.
That evening at Beatrice's home. So what's the answer to this one? It's Egypt. Oh wow, you know the answer. That's incredible. Thanks. You are smart, and I am wondering why you are still not in school, Grace. Well, it's a long story, Beatrice, but I'm hopeful that one day this will pass. I really look forward to that. Soon, it was time to go. All right, it's running late. I need to go home. Sure, it's always been fun studying with you. Bye, Grace.
Early the next day, Grace wakes up to the noise of excited kids in the neighborhood. It's Saturday. I wonder what could be so exciting out there at this time. It's Abeku, a visitor to the town, having some fun with the children taking turns on his bicycle. Ha, you fell again. Okay, that's enough. Let me show you how to ride, hands-free. Mommy, can I go play with my friends outside, please? Sure, right after your morning chores. Quickly, Grace gets the chores out of the way. Abeku spots Grace staring at them from a distance. Would you like to try your luck riding? No way. She's a girl. She can't ride. We couldn't. Well, who knows? She still can give it a shot. Would you? What a man can do, a woman can do better. Happy falling. Ha ha ha. Let's see how she falls. Ride on.
Observem-me, rapazes. Vou para aquela árvore e volto. Ha, ha, ha. Deus misericordioso. A menina está a andar de bicicleta. Ha, 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 ha. Adoro isso. Vá, Grace. Mostra aos meninos como fazer. Oh, meu Deus. Ela anda de bicicleta de facto? Na verdade, Grace está a fazer o que os meninos não conseguiram fazer. Ela cavalga confortavelmente. Isto é inacreditável. Ela cavalga como especialista. Como isso foi? Grace, incrível. Bateste os meninos a andar de bicicleta? Surpreendeste a todos nós com a tua habilidade? Eu não acredito isso. Podes fazer isso de novo? Ha, ha, ha. Certo. Por que não?
Grace picks herself on the bike and once again pedals her way even further and with more confidence. The boys had no choice than to follow her with cheers and jubilations. Oh, yes. Hoorah! This is awesome. The first female bike rider in town. Soon it was time to return to the big city. Everybody was sad. Just when they were getting used to Abeku and the fun he brought to the kids, he had to leave. I have a little surprise for you, Grace. My mom has permitted me to gift you with this bike. Oh, wow. We learned you are a smart kid, but having challenges to go to school due to the distance. We hope you find this gift useful. Absolutely. I'm so speechless, Abeku. Thank you so much. Mother, I guess the worry of a long distance issue is over. I can now start going to school. Absolutely, my girl.
The bike indeed was a blessing. Now she can not just ride to school to get an education, but also run a few more errands for the family with much ease. I will drop off these items before heading to school. I can't be late again, haha. Grace soon became popular in school and would be found giving a few of her friends a ride home after school. I must say, your daughter really looks different. She looks empowered. Yes, and she has been so popular, earning a nickname, the girl on the red bike. Imagine that. She's also been helping other children remain punctual at school with that bike.
I am so grateful for that gift. It just unearthed so much potential in my daughter. You could have easily missed this if you had continued keeping her at home. Education is really the best thing for our children. She feels so liberated. I have a feeling the bicycle will help her complete her education and prepare her better for jobs in the future. Girl child education really has far more benefits than we assume. Oh yes, not to forget the vicious cycle of having to live hand to mouth. Indirectly, poverty will not be knocking at my family doorstep. Ha ha ha, thanks to education. Yes, oh, ha ha ha.
Indeed, with that gift, Grace managed to successfully ride through her primary to secondary education. She passed and qualified for higher education in the city. Another good news, mother, I have passed with flying colors. I am heading for higher education. That's my daughter. I am so proud of you. I have no doubt you are going to sail through all the challenges ahead. Life in the city will be quite different. We need to prepare our list of items to buy to prepare you for the next phase of your education. Thank you so much, Mother. I am truly grateful for your support.
Quelques semaines plus tard, Grace et sa mère étaient en ville. Ils en ont profité pour rencontrer Abeko et sa mère. Je dois dire que votre prévenance a vraiment aidé ma fille à terminer ses études. Nous sommes heureux d'entendre cela. Abeko m'a dit qu'elle était une enfant intelligente. Le mieux que nous puissions faire était ce cadeau. Contrairement à beaucoup d'autres, Grace est arrivée à l'école moins fatiguée, concentrée en classe, ponctuelle au quotidien. Cela l'a vraiment aidé à améliorer ses performances. Nous sommes heureux du chemin parcouru. J'ai cru en toi le jour où Abeko m'a placé devant toi. Tu m'as vraiment donné raison. Va finir tes études et sois ce que tu aspires à être. Je vais, Madame, merci beaucoup.
Même si Grace s'est retrouvée dans une classe dominée par les hommes, elle n'a pas été découragée. En fait, elle s'est avérée plus dure élève à battre pour les positions les mieux notées dans la plupart des matières. Oh mon Dieu, cette fille est brillante. Je n'ai jamais rencontré une fille aussi intelligente que celle-ci. Son succès et sa réussite en tant qu'étudiante de première classe n'ont pas été une surprise. Grace est devenue une ingénieure à succès après avoir obtenu son diplôme universitaire.
She never forgot her roots. She always went back to the town twice a year to support more students into education by donating bicycles to the school children. Bicycles will help children commute safer to school, keep them in school, improve students' performance, increase self-esteem, especially among girls. I was empowered to sail through my education with a bike. It is my hope and dream that these gifts will do the same for all the children here, especially the girl child. There's a rapturous applause from the gathering. I really am inspired. I will make sure my girl child gets educated to become like her one day. Grace beams with smiles as she looks on at a girl attempting to ride the bike for the first time. You can do it, girl. My mom tells whatever I focus to do, I can do it. That's right, dear. Keep the hope alive. With determination, a girl can do and become anything she dreams of. Just keep riding on.
So what do you think about the stories? It's good? So we will distribute this, and we have other stories also, but we're not reading, of course, it. But just to give you an idea what they are, of course, we all know the David story from last time, and also educating Linda, and make the right choice we've done during coronavirus. It's about raising awareness about coronavirus, but also about honesty and loyalty in work. There's another one, which is Jute sugar-free. It's a very good one for diabetes. And for children specifically who get diabetes because of obesity or bad habits of non-exercising, it's really good raising awareness to prevent diabetes, very much, or manage it properly. And not who you are, it's about gender-based violence, domestic violence. It's also very, very nice one about a husband who abused his wife, and then they come back after to happiness and to respect her and appreciate her. It's really also nice, and it's been made in a very nice way for children, so they can understand how to respect their future wives and future women in their life. So I think we... Sorry? Yes.
The advocacy should start from children because they are the future generation, so that they will be adapting to what exactly we went through. They will not make the mistakes that we made.
Exactly, because it's also very easy to mold them when they are young still, and before the character is formed totally, because it's very difficult sometimes to change adults. So if anyone, please feel free if you want to comment about anything. No? Dr. Frank, you want?
Next.
After this, in the books, this is what I said. I mean, Not Who You Are and Jute Sugar Free, and the last 3 stories and these 2 stories. So this is we are doing one about hypertension also, which is also very good. If they keep themselves healthy since childhood, I'm sure it will be a lifestyle, and they will continue. And we complement that with the songs and with the awareness materials and the other things like the media awards. We have the media awards now about healthy lifestyle and how to prevent diabetes and hypertension. We encourage media to write about these things, these topics. So that's it. So Dr. Frank, can you please close the meeting? I think we finished.
Thank you all for attending. I know it was not always easy to come from all parts of Africa or even New York, so it's always a long trip. But it was worthwhile. I think it's very important to have this sort of meeting simply to exchange views and to agree on the next step forwards. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing all of you, hopefully also the first ladies who couldn't come next year, and we will decide where we will meet. I don't know whether you have got any idea already on that respect.
We'll do voting for that, yeah.
Yeah, we'll work on that. So safe travel back home, and please continue the good work. I think Africa, in particular the girls, will benefit from it. And by the way, see, I've got 2 granddaughters and 3 daughters, and the problems are a bit different, but still they also have to struggle in a male world, also in Europe. So there's no that much difference in that respect. Yes. So I've got my full sympathy, whatever we do. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much, Professor Frank. There's one thing only, Her Excellency, the First Lady of Burundi, give us a gift of her daughter song, and she wants to play it to us. So if you don't mind, it takes 2 minutes. Yeah. Yes, please.
Grâce à ta rapidité et ta bravoure quand tu agis, tu es plus qu'une mère, oh femme, tu es irremplaçable dans la famille et la nation entière grâce à ta rapidité et ta bravoure quand tu agis.
Tu n'as pas été créé uniquement pour être maman. Tu t'as doté de multi-talents, tu es plus qu'une mère.
Tes tâches ne se limitent pas de mettre au monde seulement ou de prendre en charge les enfants, mais dans l'administration Tu es le mot de l'admirable. Dans l'éducation, tu es le femme des valeurs intellectuelles. Tu es plus qu'une mère. Tu es plus qu'une mère. Tu es plus qu'une mère.
Tu es plus qu'une mère. Oh femme, tu es irremplaçable dans la famille et la nation entière grâce à ta rapidité et ta bravoure quand tu agis. Tu es plus qu'une mère.
Tu interviens dans la construction, dans la sécurité, dans la lutte pour droits de l'homme, dans l'unité, le développement, ainsi que d'autres domaines. Avance, va toujours de l'avant, brille comme une étoile, illumine le monde vers les rares. Tu es plus qu'une mère, tu es capable.
The camera work is amazing. Yeah. Very high quality. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.